We rise for the flag.
Let us open this meeting with a word of prayer. Let's pray. Almighty and ever-living God, our Father, we want to thank you so much for Jesus Christ, our Lord, and the bread of life, who desires of his children to be nourished physically, but more so spiritually by accepting him as Lord and Savior in their lives. We pray that you cleanse us from our sins, O Lord. Grant us the grace to depend on you in our difficulties and exercise humility in times of success, that all glory, honor, and praise may belong to Jesus Christ, our Master, King, and the Messiah, now and forevermore. For we pray in Jesus' name.
Seats. Thank you. Have your seats.
Yes, can we have silence? Kindly, students, those who have not settled, get seated so that we have total silence. Thank you. To the Chair, Board of Management, Maranda High School, Dr. John Ongech, and members of the board present, members of Maranda Alumni Association, led by the Chair, present, members of the PTA, present here with us, colleague members of staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I want to take this opportunity on my own behalf as a Master of Ceremonies to welcome you to this function. And I want to say that this is one of those exciting sessions that we are going to have as a school. And in that direction, I would wish to ask you to be as excited as the occasion itself. And I want to request that during the session, we would expect very minimal movement from your part so that you gain maximally from whatever the speakers and guidance that you are going to have from each one of the speakers up to the end. We have done our national anthem. We have also prayed according to the program. So we want to move to the next level of our program, where I will be inviting certain personalities to make their welcoming remarks, and then we shall pick on from there. So with singular honor, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome our Chief Principal to give his opening remarks.
Thank you. Chairman of the Board of Management, Maranda High School, Dr. Ongech. Chairman, the Alumni, Mahisa Fraternity, Wakili Benson Awar. Chairman, Parents Association, Engineer Elisha Aduke. Members of the board who are present, members of the PA, all the alumni present, and more significantly, the most recent of all of the 2021, our top 30 who are also with us this morning, colleague members of staff, and our dear students. Good morning. I want to take this opportunity to formally and gladly welcome all of you to Maranda High School for today's function, a great day, a great occasion, courtesy of the alumni. I want to express my sincere thanks. I want to express my sincere joy that this day has come to be what it is this morning, and a big day that we're looking forward to. And I want to very sincerely appreciate the efforts of the alumni to make this day be a reality. This is a day we are proud of as a school because of its place in our school. The place of the alumni is a pillar to all the great institutions that we talk about in our society today, including some of the top schools that we know. Their pillar has been the alumni. And we are glad to be here today, once again, courtesy of our alumni, and we are happy with the plans that are on course for the school, courtesy of the alumni. We do recognize and appreciate that 2 years ago, we had a function on this compound, again, courtesy of the alumni, when we were celebrating the centenary, our 100 years of establishment as a school. today we are here to celebrate again another occasion, a Careers Day, courtesy of the alumni, that gives our current students an opportunity to be able to interact with the alumni, the all boys who went through this school and today who are in different positions in our society. I want to call upon our students that please take the occasion seriously, reflect on it, take the message, and at the end of the day, pick the lessons that will motivate you and cause you to work even smartly towards achieving your goal. They made it through this school. It means that you can equally do it and even do it better. One of the things that we have been sharing with them that they note, that while they were in this school that time, many years, some as far as 30 years ago, this school did not have the kind of facilities that you have. They struggled around this school, and one of the greatest challenges that they faced was water, that they never had an opportunity to draw water within school. Anytime you required water, you had to go out of school to go and fetch water and bring back to school for your use and anything. But still they were able to make it. It's a lot better than what it was then, so you have an advantage, and many other things around here. That should be the encouragement, that should be the motivation, but I'm sure a lot you'll be able to hear from them. Allow me to mention, Chair, that currently as a school, we have a student population of 2,420 across the board from Form 1 to Form 4, and they are very good, disciplined students. We are happy to work with them. Let me appreciate ourselves, please. On staff, our teaching staff, we have a total of 92 teachers, TSC, and those on board who serve our students. I know we are in different corners trying to coordinate. I just want to request those who are around, please, you can just arise. Colleague members of staff who are present. Allow me just to invite maybe the deputies. The rest we can just wave, and allow me to invite the deputies for introduction. Thank you very much. Shall we appreciate our teachers as I invite the deputies to come for a quick short introduction.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Oden Jacob, Deputy Principal in charge of curriculum. Good morning. Ogola Nyango, Deputy Principal Administration.
Thank you very much. That's the team supporting us. On top of this, allow me to mention, Chairman, that we have 65 in number, the number of the non-teaching staff who support us in different corners to make sure that our services are effective in school. As I conclude, I want to say we are all welcome and we look forward to a very great day. My name is Dr. Edwin Amachanja, Chief Principal, Maranda High School. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chief Principal. Can we give him a better... I think you have forgotten. Yes. Yes. Hot, 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 compost, hot, hot, stand up, stand up, another one, another one, another one, another one. So allow me to invite the PA chair also to make welcoming remarks.
Wait.
Chairman of the Board of Management, Dr. Alumni'S, Chairman of the Alumni Association, Benson Ochieng, members of the BOM, Chief Principal, Dr. Edwin Namachanja, members of the PA Association here with us, members of faculty, members of the alumni that are here, students of Maranda High School. Good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. I am happy to be here with you today on a very unusual meeting. Unusual that this meeting is run by the students of Maranda High School. Don't worry that they were here before you. These are students of Maranda High School setting up traditions for Maranda High School. And these traditions are being set up so that the rest of you will emulate these traditions. Today, the alumni day, which they will use to mentor you into the kind of people you wish to be, forms one of the traditions and rituals of this school. And when there will be a safe distance from here, the rest of you sitting on this side will be mentoring others so that people come. If you are hearing me out there at the back, it's back again. So that the material coming out of Maranda will continue flowing like the legendary river of Tennessee forever and ever. When the rest of us will be a very safe distance from here, the name of Maranda and the products of Maranda will continue from here. So, Mr. Chieng, please take our gratitude for what you people have been able to do to set up this ritual to form the traditions of Maranda High School. All great things are achieved by one starting them and then mowing them and watering them and keep on doing that for the next 600 years. Thank you, gentlemen, for this great effort.
Thank you so much, the PA chair. Let us appreciate him. Okay, let's do the Nyayo. Ready, 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 go. Nyayo. 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 Thank you, thank you. Now, I want to take this opportunity, and you really have to pay keen attention to this, because it is going to be the first time for some of us to set their eyes on the person that I'm going to call. I would wish to invite the chairman of the board to come and address you. Dr. Ngech, please come and address the students.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be before you today. I will formally introduce myself. This is the first time most of you are seeing me. At this being academic institution, I'll just tell you the degrees that I have, because you might aspire to have them. So my names are Dr. John Ongech. I earned my Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery at University of Nairobi. I did my Master of Medicine in Obstetrics and Gynecology, University of Nairobi, finishing as the best student. I got scholarship as a Fulbright scholar. I studied Masters in International Health in the United States, Tulane University. Those are just a few of the degrees, okay? Before I introduce the board members, I'm still introducing myself. I have a medical doctor who has worked for close to 30 years practicing medicine. Currently, I work as a private medical practitioner, gynecology obstetrician in Nairobi, but I also teach medicine at the University of Nairobi part-time. I'm also the Safaricom company health advisor for the entire country, and I chair the Safaricom medical board.
Previously, I've worked at Kenyatta National Hospital. The President of the Republic appointed me the CEO, but I declined. I think that is enough. So before I say much, I want to introduce the board members who are with me here, because I need you to understand one thing, that the school is run by Ministry of Education, okay? Maybe you may not know, we might assume. Then the Ministry of Education has appointed a board, okay? And the board runs the school on behalf of Ministry of Education. So the board is your top stakeholder here, okay? Then after the board, of course, then you have your teaching staff led by your chief principal here. And you also have the support staff. Then you have the parents who are major stakeholders here. And you have the PA chair as just spoken, and the various PA representatives. And then you have the students, you, current. And another big stakeholder are the alumni, okay? So my board members, parents, PA, PA representatives, chair of the PA is here, chair of the alumni, Advocate Benson Award. Today is the alumni day. Another day, I'll have my day, okay, to give you motivational talk. Chief principal, teaching staff, and you the students. So now I can greet you. Good morning. That's my style, okay? That's my swag. You get it? All right. So before I say a few remarks, I would like then to introduce the board members. And I've set the precedent of how people introduce themselves so that you want to know who are these people that the Ministry of Education delegated the running of this great school on behalf of the ministry. So the board members will come here, will tell you their name, a brief CV, and maybe a word. All that will take just a minute. So the board members, I will start from this end, the Caricam. So this is the only opportunity.
A new board we were inaugurated about 3 months ago, so it's important that you know who are your managers and what they bring on board.
Thank you, Chair of the Board. Thank you, Chief Principal, and your teaching and non-teaching staff, PA Chair and your PA reps, fellow board members, and to our students. Good morning. Good morning. I love energy. I can't feel it. Good morning. Good morning. That's better. Well, I was only allowed to introduce myself, so I won't say much. I'm a board member, serving my second term. My name is, and I'll include my title for ease of understanding, Dr. Kennedy Ogola. You don't have to clap for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and we have been told it should not take more than a minute. Starting with my highest achievement in education, I'm a PhD holder from the University of Nairobi. And I also happen to be a senior lecturer at the same university, Faculty of Business and Management Sciences, where I happen to be one among the only 4 in the entire University of Nairobi specialists in strategic management and innovations. My master's degree is in business administration, strategic management, but then there's a spin to all this. My undergraduate is not in social sciences, but natural sciences, specifically biological sciences. What are my accolades since the chair decided that we tell you what we do? I'm a UN accredited consultant in management. I sit in the board of the Insurance Technical Education Advisory Board of this country. I sit in the board as the chair of your sister or brother school, and that is Chianda High School. And finally, I sit in the board of a sister school to you, Ngara Girls High School, Nairobi. If that is not enough, I will not say any more. I look forward to meeting you, particularly those who will come to University of Nairobi. And for your records, and for the alumni, Chair, now I recognize you, Benson Ochieng, Wakili. Maranda High School has got the highest number of students currently and previously who have done engineering at University of Nairobi. The current mechanical engineering 5th year class, which I teach management, has got 14 of your alumni. As I conclude, may your passage here make it that when you refer to Maranda as your alma mater, new terminology, we hear alumni, but I want you to reverse it. When Maranda becomes your alma mater, may it always be that you left a footprint that will be counted. God bless all of you.
It is serious business. Stay tuned. The PA had been here, but he didn't. This is time now to come as a board member.
Actually, by default, I didn't say my name. My name is Engineer Elisha Aduke. I will not go through my CV, except to say that I graduated first time in engineering in 1978. Like Dr. Ongech and Dr. Gola from the University of Nairobi. Now you can see from 1978 to now, the CV will take a long time. So I will ask leave of the board chair to take this opportunity to kindly ask the PA committee members that are here to kindly stand up. Please. And without asking too much of them, I would wish them to move forward because they are the parents here in a representative capacity. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Just feel insecure and come out. I would like to kindly ask them to say their names, the classes they represent, so that you know your parents are here and they are watching you. Please.
Good morning, Maranda boys. Good morning, my sons. My name is Jacqueline Misericordia Ochieng. I am the class rep from 2 Pink. Thank you, BOG Chair.
Good morning, boys. Good morning once again. Engineer Charles Scholar, class representative from 2 Maroon. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is CPA Jared Rading. I am PA rep for Form 3 White, and I love Maranda. Asanteni sana.
Morning, everybody. Mine is George Owinogol from 3 Maroon.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Binge. I represent Form 2 Yellow.
Good morning, students. My name is Dr. Enoch Okoth. I've been sent here to represent 2 White, courtesy of Madam Faye. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Quintant Olima, class rep from 2 Blue, and I'm a manager in Quinteric Hospital.
I think my time is up. It was 1 minute. I would just like to say that at your age, I had the opportunity to be a student at Alliance High School, and I bring onto the board experience gained over a long period, having been a member of the board of Moi Girls High School Eldoret for about 13 years, and a member of the board of Nakuru High School for about 8 years, and currently a member of the board of the Hill School Eldoret for the last 8 years. Thank you.
I say stay tuned. Next, we start ladies now.
Wow. My board member, when he was in the university, I think in a baby diaper or something, but we are together. To the chair of our board, the chair of Alumni, the principal Daktari. My name is Dr. Silpa Owich. I am not a medical doctor, I'm a finance doctor. And what I bring on board, I was ably requested to chair the finance board of Maranda High School. And at the same time, I'm a board member of NHIF. If you know it, I know you visit our hospitals. I'm also a chair of finance committee at NHIF board, okay? So since chair started, so maybe I'll just explain the education background because that's why we're here. I came from a very humble school, your neighboring school somewhere in Seme. I was in another school, but we had to move to this new school. And I can tell you I was the first lady to get out of that school to join the university. So it does not matter where you go, but it's the strength that you have to move from where you are. So from there, I went to Kenyatta University, where I graduated with my first class honors degree. I was the top student there. And I was requested, I was given 2 scholarships for MBA, for MA in Kenyatta University. At the same time, I had a scholarship for Oxford, but I had to stay in MA. Yeah, you know, that's how it is. But don't worry. After that, I did my MBA, and I'm happy to have been in class with somebody who is currently vying for the deputy presidency. That was my classmate in MBA, Martha Karua. And then sky is the limit, so next time I'll be the one in that space. So for my PhD, we did it basically here and Columbia Business School. So it's something that I managed to achieve later. So I think for me, okay, today is not our time to speak. I can say it does not matter where you are coming from. My father died when I was in standard 8, when I was doing my exams. but I'm here now to represent him. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. God bless.
All dreams are valid, no matter. Correct. The lady continues.
All protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Janet Achieng Ochieng. I be a member the Maranda Boys. Just as my fellow lady has said, your current position does not matter. What matters is where you are going. I also came from a very humble background. I did my KCP from a very small school in the village in Migori County, but following my results, I could only go to Asumbi Girls. Can you clap for me? Remember, I've said following my results from that school, I could only join Asumbi Girls High School. And I remember coming to Maranda High School in 1993 to benchmark. When we left Maranda, we went back to Asumbi. What we used to do, we used to call it Maranda Rising. Maranda Rising, I noticed that in Maranda, you move with speed in all that you do. Yes, from Asumbi Girls, I went and did my degree in nursing. I'm a nurse by profession. I've worked in several hospitals, and I'm sure, Dr. when we met for the first time, you are like, I look familiar. I'm a nurse by profession, and I like it. Number two, now I work with Africa Air Rescue. Africa Air Rescue. Some 2 months back, I was a business manager in charge of Nyanza and Western. But last week, I was upgraded. I'm a business partner with Africa Air Rescue, East and Central Africa. I love you boys, and I can't finish before I say I'm a proud mother of Clint Crowley, Walter Akelo, and Albert Mike Odhiambo in Form 2 and Form 4. May our good Lord be with you. Continue showering with the blessings as we pray for you. Bye.
Different skills, different setup. We are still continuing. Everybody is bringing something to Maranda High School. This board is no joke.
I'm saying that Dr. Odeny needed to have a ramp for those of us that have disabilities. But never mind. Good morning. It's so good to be here this morning. We congratulate the chairman, alumni. We congratulate our own chairman, Dr. Ngech, for this landmine day. This is good. I'm really excited about the fact that they've got the alumni started, and that I know that they will get to do a lot for our school. My name is Pamela Wino-Luoch. I have the privilege to serve as vice chair of the board. I'm vice to Dr. Ngech, and it cannot be easy. You better sympathize with me. You have seen the vibe and the energy and all those degrees. But I'm glad to be his vice. I'm a member of this community, and to give you an idea where I come from, the PA chair, Engineer Oduke, and I were Croatians. Do you know what that means? That he was at the Alliance High School and I was at the Alliance Girls High School. And so, and we are age mates too. So it's a pleasure to be Engineer Oduke's age mate, because he's a great PA chair. And I don't know, most of my life I have spent in business. I worked for a company known as, it was Longman then, I suppose it then became Longhorn, and I was in editorial and production for many years. And after that, I went and started a bookshop, and I ran that bookshop for 27 years. So most of my life, after that, I was too tired to do anything else, and I came home. And it has been a pleasure to serve the community. I've been at the Maranda High School for a while. I'm also at other schools. I was at the Nyamira Girls. I've since retired, and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and now I chair Agwara Secondary School. And so it's a pleasure to mix with you young people. And this morning you have had more than enough motivation. More than enough motivation. What that's giggling about? More than enough motivation to have you going. You have no excuse not to make it towards what Dr. Ngech has reached and what Engineer Oduke has been able to do. God bless you so much.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I want to really appreciate this special day because it is a special day for you. I know I've been here in the past to talk with you, especially on Sundays. And my word is always do not let go. Letting go is not part of you. Is that so? Letting go is not part of you. What we call resilience, no matter what, as long as you are alive, work towards the goal, you will attain it. So we don't let go. Now, as I stand here, I want to appreciate the Maranda Alumni Association and the chairman of board, the chairman of PA, and our principal of the school, and you as well for making this occasion come to be as it is. So I'll introduce myself. I'm called Anastasia Olango. I am an alumni of Loreto Limuru, and from Loreto Limuru, I am an alumni of Kenyatta University, having been there twice for my undergraduate and master's. Currently, I am a trained and licensed counselor psychologist. And that is what I bring on board. And as a counselor psychologist, I am currently working with Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. So when you get to Jaramogi University, I know you are aspiring big, but we too aspire big. So when you come to Jaramogi University, I am in the office of the Dean of Students, as Senior Assistant Dean of Students. So there I hold two hats, Dean of Students and Student Counselor. So that is the work I do there. I'm also part of the Anglican Church, the cathedral, and I work there as a lay reader. So that is where, or the point where I have met you some time back in the service. So basically, that is where we are. And as a counselor, I am here to give the support. And what I'm letting you know from now onward is no letting go. Asanteni.
It was not our day, it was the alumni day. So I would like to end my session. We shall have another day with you, but I want to make some brief comments. Earlier, I had said that the schools, are run by Minister of Education, okay? And all these members you're seeing here, for you to sit in a board to run Maranda High School, your appointment must be endorsed by the Minister for Education. Professor George Magoha himself appointed these men and women you're seeing here with great CV experience to come and run this school. So the board here is vibrant, as you can see. They bring experience from Alliance, from experience from education, from career, and they are very, very serious people. This board, new board here, really, really wants things to move. We have arms of the board, deals with different committees. You've had finance. There's another one dealing with infrastructure. Dr. Ken did not tell you that it chairs the infrastructure committee. Infrastructure is very, very important. We have discipline. That is the only small problem we are having in the Maranda, a little, but not so much. The principal tells me you're on track. So there's a disciplinary committee. So this board has a committee that looks at issues of discipline very, very seriously. And that time we don't laugh, because discipline is everything. The board has a committee that deals with those guidance and counseling. So we have various subcommittees looking at how we run the school. So our job is to drive policies for the school, ensure you're disciplined, make sure things are working, and we get the good results. You have very committed teachers here. I've talked to these teachers when I was in I've been a board chair for the last 3 months or so. I met with the teachers. You have great teachers here. These teachers meet all the criteria of the best of the best. They mark national exams. A good teacher should mark national exams, so they know how the exams are set. They finish syllabus in good time. Do they finish syllabus in good time? They know the students. Do they work with the weak students? And do they push the stronger students to perform better? So these teachers, do they inspire? So you have amazing teachers. And the support staff, do they cook for you food? Very nice. And then you have very, very supportive parents. The parents pay for you school fees? Yes. And they are here. You've seen them here. They ensure you are disciplined at home so that you don't get distractions. You don't go too much on TV or on phones, on those things that can make you not get focused. So you have great parents who have brought you here, have made sacrifices, and they're here. And then you have the alumni, okay? Alumni, a biggest pillar today is their day. As soon as I step out of here, they will take over the program. And the alumni of Maranda High School, you've heard, they have the highest number of engineers, the faculty. They are seated here. They are not a joke. When their time comes, when you'll hear their titles, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. So I see one of my classmates is here. I'll soon ask him to come and say something before I sit down. So then the students now, okay? These alumni have contributed money from their pockets today to make sure. Did you have a good breakfast? Yes. It was different? Yes. You were told who made it different? Okay. I'm sure there's something. You are to promise some lunch? Yes. Yeah, so something is coming. So they have sacrificed themselves to make sure you eat. Okay? They have sacrificed themselves today to make you have awards. They will give you motivational speeches here. They will guide you on career. These alumni are great people. They will tell you what they want to do. I don't even want to preempt. So they have come to storm this school. and this school will never be the same. Okay? Those who are here for 4 years, you had seen them during the other celebrations, eh? But this time they have come to have one-on-one with you to make a difference. So they make a big filler. Now you, the students, you are great students, okay? You know that Maranda, the whole country looks up to Maranda, okay? If the principal showed me the entry marks of the people who are admitted in this school, there is no other school in this great republic which has better students who came here with better marks than you. Even the schools, even when you hear Kapsabet boys, you hear what? The entry marks in this school was great. So we have students who are bright, okay? You are bright students. Do you know that you are bright? So all these CVs we are talking about is nothing. You are going to break these CVs. Is that possible? Yes. So the entry point in this school is huge. All these neighboring schools, I mean, even the last mark that came here, may not even be found in some of the neighboring schools, okay? So you are in a class of your own. So it's for you to take advantage of that.
To be disciplined, to be focused, to read, time management, and aim highest, okay? So I hope today, after you've met the alumni, things will never be the same. I'm very passionate that this school should be better than what it is. This school has been number 1, and we have to go back to number 1. And I do not want to hear issues of indiscipline in this school. As long as I chair this board, anybody indisciplined, I cannot withstand, I cannot tolerate. Anybody taking drugs will go home, will not tolerate. This is a great school, a school that we are proud of. You can see the people running this school are great minds. You will see the alumni who are coming here are great people. We do not want Maranda High School to be associated with anything negative. Are we together? Do you promise me? Yes. We want Maranda to move to be in the number 1, 2, 3. These other schools, there's nothing they have that Maranda High School do not have. Okay? So it's not my day, but I'm very passionate about this school. I don't know, my passions dates back in many, many years. And at this stage, I'll call my age mate, Dr. Vincent Okothongore, to come besides me here. He was alumni of this school. We did O-level in 1984. This school used to benchmark with my brain. He will come to confirm. Thank you. Say something, my age mate.
Odero Ngech.
Address the students briefly, just to confirm that I'm passionate about this school. I know they will call you later, but we were together in school.
Thank you, Chairman of the Board, Dr. John Odero Ongech. All protocol observed. I joined Maranda High School on 26th of January 1981. I had not been called to Maranda. I had a letter to Mangu High School, but I did not have school fees. So my chief, Paul Opondo Ragama, whose grandchild must be somewhere here, brought me here in a Land Rover and told Mr. Obonyo, this young man got all the marks in a rural school. Please admit him. On the same day that I was joining Maranda, young John Odero Ngech was joining Usenge High School. But listen to this story, because it might be exciting. I was here in Form 1, Form 2, then my principal, J.S. Obonyo, was transferred, I think, out of Maranda to Teacher Service Commission. That marked the end of my schooling. So, third term, Form 2, the entire Form 3, I was away. But I would sneak in from time to time. Teachers would catch me and send me back home. Unfortunately, I didn't even have bus fare, so I would walk home. It would take me 13 hours. So, one teacher called Roy Omondi, who still teaches at Kabarak to date, my teacher of maths, convinced the new principal, Mr. Oniala Nyaoke, and Omondi himself was sent to our home on his bike, motorbike. We came back with Omondi, and I joined Form 4, having lost third term of Form 2 and the entire Form 3. But I still passed well enough to join the same school as Dr. Ongech here. But there's something I want to tell you about your chair. We used to do joint maths contests. I think Form 3 I can't remember because I wasn't participating, I was away. But when I came back, he defeated us in all of them. This gentleman here. And so, talking about academics and having Dr. Ongech as the chairperson of your board of management excites me because I know what he stands for. When he declined the appointment, the presidential appointment to be chief executive officer at Kenyatta National Hospital, we had a chat and a laugh over it. He said, I don't want to be anybody's clerical officer. I am a medical doctor. And he declined it. I'm sure most of you would not want to decline CEO positions. He's a principled man. We have worked with him. I've known Odero Ongech since the 80s, early 80s, and we were at Kericho High School together during my A-levels. We joined Kericho High School, I think, in March, where I got a letter from school to go to Kericho High School. When I went there, the principal said, we don't admit people who don't have money. So I went back home. I had been selected to do maths, chemistry, and biology like John Ongech. But when I went back in September, towards October, when Provincial Education Officer, Mr. Oluoch, intervened on my behalf, I was admitted. So I was actually admitted, but I realized chemistry and biology, being practical subjects, were not possible for me to follow after 1 year of almost a year of absence. So I chose maths, geography, economics, because we had a beautiful, background in mathematics at Maranda. I will have an opportunity to talk a little later when time allows, but I want the point I'm making is, it doesn't matter which background you come from or which struggles you have to endure to be in school. You need to be focused, you need to be constant to purpose, and you need to be disciplined. If I wasn't a disciplined student, I would not have been asked to come back without school fees. And I would therefore echo Dr. Ongech's words that you need to be disciplined. We will not tolerate, I will support him to send you home if you are not a disciplined student, because you are going to mess us up. No wonder we today we are talking about creating a niche with integrity. That basically is the message that brings us here. And we are going to pass that message with a lot of stamina, with a lot of energy, because we want you to be good ambassadors of the Maranda we knew, and the Maranda we want to know now and going forward. So, Doc, I want to leave it at this point, and just to confirm students that you are in good hands, because at school we used to call him perfect. If you had difficulty in mathematics, you went to Odero Ongech. I want to assure you that the marks we got were genuine marks. And when we went to pursue our diverse courses and disciplines, we were able to demonstrate that hard work, diligence, and integrity, both in examination and in studies, make a huge difference in professional pursuits and in advanced academics. And I'm very grateful to be here today. We will talk a little more. I'm told I'm the MC after this. And so I want to thank John for this opportunity.
I think you can continue.
Oh, so you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, so I've requested that we finish. There is some small bit that is left here. Then we shall hand over the program to him. I think that was marvelous, eh? Very extravagant CVs, and you are going to overdo these things when your time comes. So we want to appreciate all the speakers. You know what we normally do? It's not clear. We want to. I'm saying that that was marvelous, and those are very, very extravagant CVs that we expect that you will overdo when your time comes. So we want to appreciate all the speakers all at once. Now we want to do the climax, the standing ovation. And you wait so that we go together. So prepare as you also make it hot. I'm seeing some boys down there already sleeping. Some of us, you know, we like sleeping. Some people there, we are talking about very good CVs and they're just sleeping. Okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you for that. Now we want to now move to the next level of our program. And just before I invite my colleague MC to take over the program, I'd like to have a very short interlude, which I'm going to request Moyo to do just briefly, and then we hand over the program to the next MC. So Moyo.
Naam, sana wapenzi watazamaji, kwa Maranda TV na kukupasha habari zetu za utendeti kemkem pindi zinapochipuka na kutanda. Hakika ni mimi wenye David nikiwa nimesimama tisti mbele yenu nikiwa na uhondo wa wiki habari kamili. Hatimaye siku iliyongoja kwa ragba ya mkanja yapika baada ya wiki ndefu ya furaha shuleni, huku wanafunzi wengi wakisubiri kuwaona All Boys wakiwemo Bwana Uchende Molo, Dr. Oma Olonga, Bwana Maraga, Bwana Ouya, CID au kipenda Okewa, na bila kusahau baba yao Odeni kwa maandalizi ya kipekee. Usafi wa hali ya juu ulifanywa katika sehemu nadra kama vile bweni la slums, ukipenda Odeni, na hata Sukura Annex almaarufu Mabatis, ambao wao wenyewe ndio All Boys. Hata hivyo, maswali mengi yalibuliwa miongoni mwa wanafunzi kuhusu jagina mmoja ambaye amelelewa hapa, akasomea hapa, na hata watoto wake kusomea hapa. Swali lilikuwa ni je, Bwana Adede alipaswa kuitwa All Boy ama ancestor wa Maranda?
Can you keep quiet, bro? I will kill you.
Kwingineko, kamati ya kupambana na kokoto almaarufu The News Grinders Association imetoa pongezi na shukrani kwa Alumni'S kwa madikodiko ya leo. Vijana hawa pamoja na Western Brothers walituonyesha meno yao wiki nzima na kutolaza mabwenini. Waja hawa walionekana kula kwa kipimo jana ili kuweka nafasi ya leo. Hata baada ya kupata staftahi wameombwa kujizuia kule nyuma ili wasigeuze aboreta mkuu wa film chambers. Isitoshe, kamera zetu zilimnasa Bwana Sukura akipiga mazoezi tayari kukabiliana na watoto kudabo. Sukura's voice. I'm going to deal with you. Tunajua kitu tunakula mayai. Nikikushika tutapambana na wewe sawa sawa. Sharti la kuleta karatasi za kupiga chapa shuleni lachangia kuonyesha ubunifu kati ya wanafunzi. Wanafunzi walisikika kulalamikia kutokana na kupanda kwa bei ya rim papers. Hata hivyo, waungwana wawili waliamua kuhifadhi muda wa kutolalamika na kutafuta plan B. Vijana hawa wanaosemekana kuwa na big minds walijaza vitabu kwenye karatasi hizo za rim papers na kupeleka kwa Bwana Goa. Aibu ilioje! Jambo hili lilimkera na kumchemsha nyongo Bwana Goa. Nusu alipuke. Hata hivyo alikuwa na haya ya kusema.
Mama disappointed.
Ngana nguvu.
Because we tell you to bring rims. But instead you fold the cartons. Put books inside the rim papers. And then you bring them. We will catch up with you.
Kwingineko, hatua ya Daktari na Machanja kuwataja wanafunzi wapatao demoralizing grades katika kila mtihani ya wapa wengi tumbo joto. Hata hivyo, matokeo ya hivi majuzi yamewaacha wengi na maswali yasiyo na majibu. Ni nini kinachotokea katika bwaro la Orege? Mpenzi msikilizaji, tuite shepe na wala si kijiko kikubwa. Kijana anayekula zaidi ya wote almaarufu Big Man ajipata katika orodha aliyojipata mwanaume. Hata hivyo ni jambo la kutia moyo, huku kamera zetu zikiwa nasa baadhi ya wanafunzi wakiamka noko kwa mara yao ya kwanza Maranda. Bila shaka ilikuwa ni pigo kwao. Imekuwa ni mimi wako yeye David nikiandamana na Malcolm Omonde. Asanteni sana. Jo, Alumni'S. Mimi ndo mnaitwa Alumni'S. Sasa nataka niulize. So wakati wa kuoga, hebu na imagine mlikuwa mnaenda kwa pond ama ni uongo? Mnaenda kuoga kwa pond. Imagine by the time umemaliza kuoga, kupiga hii safari yote ushakuwa mchafu. Sasa sijui mlikuwa mnaoga mara ngapi kwa siku? Small boy. Alafu joy ni ile siku. Wacha nizungumzie kuhusu two tribes in Kenya ambazo haupaswi kucheza nazo. Watu wanakumaliza jo. Kuna Wasomalis na Meru. Meru ukimletea joke kabla jamazana na wanakuambia Malcolm, bwana nakuomba nipatie pesa yangu.
Pesa sina saidi.
Nakuomba bwana nipatie pesa yangu.
Pesa sina saidi.
Bwana ningo gotema. Anasema atakutema ashaweka panga. Waria naye achezenga. Bwana namna gani? Mimi anasema tia mimi pesa ama mimi anarushia grenade. Hawa chezangi. The same inapia hapa Maranda. The same kuna walimu fulani inapia tu hivyo. Donde anaingianga daro hapa. Donde huwa anaingia daro. I give you the notes. Well, my notes. Unasema hauna. Asa kuweka kibare. By the time umeanza kuongea sijui umelako mara ngapi. Tukitoka hapo tunarudi kwa ground. Niko na story nataka nikupatie tu kidogo jo. Story kidogo. Kuna wakati nikiwa mtatu huko nikizurura nikapata post fulani hapo. Shida zimenigonga. Nikaona mganga kutoka Kitui. Nikatoa simu kwa mfuko. Nikaanza kudayo. Kumbe ile namba inakaribiana na babangu. So nikakuwa confused. Nikadayo namba ya babangu. Nikaanza kupiga. Hello.
Hello.
Mganga.
Hello.
Na babangu naongea na yeye. Sasa mimi sijui mganga. Anasikiza. Nataka kuomoka juu shida zimenigonga. So mganga akashtuka, babangu anasikiza tu nataka kuomoka. Najua nikasema mimi nitafanya hivi, kama ni ritual hakuna shida, nitapeana babangu kama ritual. Ni buda yangu naambia sasa hivyo. Buda nisikia tu sauti. Moyo, ni unaongea kwa simu. Buda. Toka huko. Welcome back. Tuko ndani ya siasa. So mimi kuna kitu kinanistua. Kuna kitu inanistua. Ulisikia hata Atuoli akisema kuna 3 presidents in Kenya. Niulize nani na nani?
Nani na nani?
President wa kwanza tuko na Rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Wa pili tuko na Raila Amolo Odinga. Na watatu Atuoli. Nasikia? There are 3 presidents in Kenya. Kuna Uhuru Kenyatta, kuna Raila Amolo Odinga, alafu rais wa tatu ni Atuoli. Au wengine wote shenzi. Mimi naambia shenzi sana. Hivyo ndio wanasemanga. Alafu nimeanza kusikia fisi zimeanza kudecline in Kenya. Nasikia fisi zinachukua passport, zinaanza kuingia Tanzania.
Kwa nini?
Wajakoya. Nasikia Wajakoya atachukua pendalam za fisi akipeleka wapi? Akipeleka India. Saa nahurumia wanaume wa Kenya jo.
Kwa nini unahurumia?
Wanaume wa Kenya vile tunakwanga mafisi. Basi si ndo tutaumia.
Shida.
Si ndo tunaumia. Alafu nasikia next week presidential debate Raila Odinga versus William Ruto. Raila Odinga versus William Ruto. Nashindwa kutakuwaje yani. So wakiwa ndani ya debate Raila ako pale, wakiwa ndani ya debate wamekaa chini. Wamekaa chini. So wewe ni Ruto, wewe tulia hapo, mimi ni Raila. Tunaulizwa maswali.
Naam. Tuanza na wewe Mheshimiwa Rais. Tueleze mikakati utakayochukua kupambana na suala la ufisadi nchini.
Mimi nimesema kwamba ufisadi tumeona ni donda ndogo sana ambalo linaharibu uchumi wa taifa. Mimi nasema naenda kushika watu wote ufisadi ikiwemo huyo Ruto hapa.
Naam, na swala la 6,000 je?
Mambo ya 6,000 tutaangalia. Mambo ya 6,000 achana nayo kwa sababu sisi kama serikali ya Azimio tumesema tutahakikisha 6,000 iko kwa kila mfuko wa kila Mkenya.
Naam, Mheshimiwa Ruto, niwaambie swala la wheelbarrow ni kweli si kweli? Swala la wheelbarrow ni kweli. Sasa my friend, nataka kukuambia ya kwamba hii 6,000 wachana nayo. Haitakusaidia. Kwa sababu 6,000 yenyewe unapatiwa ilikuwa yako. Pengine ningependa kusema nikiwapa kila mtu wheelbarrow mtabebea vitu. 6,000 utakula, itakusaidia vipi? Naam. Utachukua hatua gani ili kurekebisha hali ngumu ya maisha?
Sisi kama serikali nasema tumeweka mikakati ya kupambana na janga la njaa nchini. Juzi umeona bei ya unga imeshuka kutoka shilingi 220 hadi shilingi 100. Sisi tutahakikisha wakulima wanapanda mazao ya kutosha ili kuhakikisha chakula kimepatikana nchini.
Mimi wacha niwaambie, kulingana na hiyo kutengeneza tiketi, nimeleta pesa na magunia, nikaipatia serikali inunulie watu unga.
Hakuna mambo kama hiyo.
Mimi
nakwambia hiyo ni wizi.
Mimi ndo najua, wewe haujui. Wacha uganga.
Kijana anaita mimi mganga.
Wewe ni mchawi.
Kijana anaita mimi mganga.
Wewe ni mzee.
Mimi
Mzee wa vitendawili.
Mimi nakwambia vitendawili vyangu achana navyo. Kijana, mimi nitapambana na wewe.
Haujui kitendawili.
Kijana, mimi atapambana na wewe.
Kitendawili.
Kijana
haujui kitendawili.
So hiyo comedy leo, I would like kwanza to appreciate the principal ile kazi yenye amefanya. So sijui kama atakunywa soda leo. Mama kununulia principal soda. Hata kama ni kidogo kwa ile kazi amefanya Maranda. Ama ni aje? Bwana principal, chukua hii mia. Achukue hiyo mia. Lakini wata pesa yangu ilikuwa ni joke. Thank you very much.
That 100 has given me, I'm going to give back with an interest of 1,000 to appreciate that. Thank you very much. Please give them another round of applause. That is the Maranda that I know. Congratulations. Another round of applause, please. My role now is extremely humble. I've been tasked to ask the chairman of the Maranda Alumni Association to come forward to introduce or to facilitate the next level of introduction of alumni members. So Benson, Wakili Benson, please come forward.
To the chairman of the board of management of Maranda High School, my friend Dr. John Ongech. I wish I could call you my learned friend. I saw you have a very long CV, but unfortunately you are educated. So hopefully you will be learned soon. The chairman of PA, Parents Association, Engineer Aduke. Am I being heckled? Ambassador, you are going to deal with that. I'll give you the honor of explaining the difference, given that you will be the keynote speaker. The chief principal, Dr. Edwin Namachanja, the entire staff of Maranda High School, both the teaching staff and the support staff, or the admin staff. Let me say that all protocols observed although my English from Maranda tells me that that is not grammatically correct, but it is so much in usage that we will accept it today. Good morning. I forgot to acknowledge students, and you are the reason we are here. All the students and the student leadership, good morning. My name is Benson Ochieng. I am an advocate by training and by profession. I left this school in 1991. I had the privilege to serve as deputy school captain. I was Christian Union chairman. I had the privilege to win an award. Now that we are talking of awards, in my year 91, we had 6 of them. I won 4. I am a partner at the law firm of Ochieng Advocates, which I ran with a colleague who was my year mate and remains a friend of mine to date. We joined university together. He went for masters in Germany. I went for masters at the University of Nairobi. He was working with one of the foremost law firms in Nairobi, Muhammad and Muigai Advocates. I was in the law firm of Ndungu Njoroge and Kwach. Then we pursued a few different things, and then we joined hands and started a partnership. I emphasize that basically to underscore the importance of strong partnerships that you develop here. They will count more than anything else the day you leave that gate. Apart from that, as indicated, I teach law at the University of Nairobi in a special faculty called the Center for Advanced Studies in Environmental Law and Policy. This was born out of a combination of legal studies and development studies, both at the Faculty of Law and the Institute for Development Studies, but it is housed at the University of Nairobi. I have a postgraduate training in law and a master's degree in law, and several other training in law, including a postgraduate diploma in environmental democracy. We may talk more about that, but I'm really excited to be here today. We are here for a very special mission. And when we come here, I want to make it very clear, this is not the first time Maranda High School Alumni Association is doing something. Maybe doing it a little differently, maybe with greater vigor, but all towards the same purpose. We are here to walk with you this journey. For some of us who are football fans, you know that there is a team whose motto is, "You shall never walk." Oh, kumbe mnajua hiyo? Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of that team. I'm an Arsenal fan. Watu wa Arsenal oye! Obama New na Liverpool. Hao wengine wote ni? No, I thought there are 3 horses in the Premier League. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U. Hao wengine wote ni? Anyway, there's the point. There's the point, young men. We are here to work with you. Not because we are Liverpool fans, God forbid, but because the motto is so good. We want to walk this journey with you. The reason being, we have seen the beauty of walking the journey with someone. I don't want to go beyond that. I stand here just as a representative of the old boys or the alumni who have left the school before. And we are speaking with one voice, saying that yes, we've tried to walk this journey, but this time we want to walk it with greater vigor and commitment, and we want to sustain it. That is why we are here today. we feel really privileged that this school has got the best leadership that you can imagine for any school. I was sharing with the chair, Dr. Ngech. If you heard that he refused appointment to be the head of Kenyatta National Hospital, that is huge. Because for people who have different value systems, that would be like the pinnacle of achievement. But he said, no, I am a medical doctor and I don't want to get into this mess. If you had the names of the people and the achievements of the people in the board that the Ministry of Education has appointed to run this school, you can never ask for a better team. And I must say, I have just whispered to him. I had never met any other member of the board, but since I came around yesterday and met engineer who graduated with a degree in engineering when I was 3 years old, if I'm not wrong, then I feel really humbled that my school can have such talent. And Chairman, it was very easy when we started talking about the role alumni can play in the school for me, because I have been chair of board of a school and I know what alumni can do. And I have served in the board of schools for continuously for about 15 years. At least now, I think there is a rule, you serve 2 terms of 3 years and you go away. Those times it was, please, keep going and keep going. And it's a lot of sacrifice and commitment that it takes to be here. I know you came from the United States, probably just 2 days ago, landed, you must have been jet lagged, and you, let me just tell them, you had indicated that it's a bit too much, you might not reach here, but yesterday, he said, well, when what is, I will come because of your love for the school, we believe. So let me say this is part of the journey that we want to make. The Alumni Association, that as we know it now, taking shape, started gelling around about 10 years ago. And we had just a couple of Minds students who said, yes, we can give back to the school because we've seen it done elsewhere. Alliance do it, Starehe does it. And we said, they are no better than us. As you say, we met them at the University of Nairobi, and we used to beat them in class. And if you had in engineering and some of the courses, Maranda High School sends the biggest number of students to those courses. So we are as good as anyone else, if not better. And we want to maintain that spirit. So for us as alumni, we also feel challenged that if they can do it, we can do it, and we will do it better. So that is the journey we have started. Moyo alikuwa anatuchongoa. Yes, we used to go to the pond. And you had to run to the pond and come back to school in time. Our motto was just not put on integrity. I think now it's a big change to integrity in practice. But putting on integrity was interpreted as proper time management for high academic excellence. That is what our headmaster, as they then were called, Mr. Simo, used to tell us. You could not walk. As a student, you had no privilege of walking in the school. Whether you are going to the loo or going to the dining hall or you are going to the pitch. It was about proper time management. And the student leadership had to see to that. You were not supposed to walk. You are young and energetic. But you had to run because time was so squeezed. You had to go to the pond almost every day. And you had to ensure that your shirts were clean and properly tucked in. And so, let me say this. I said I'm just here as a representative. When you see all that we have done, because we won't have another opportunity to introduce ourselves and introduce what this is about, I want to invite one gentleman who has become a friend, but believe you me, we are working together and we've worked together. He was here in 2000, long after I left, and we met online, and we have been meeting online to organize this because there was no time to do it. And yet, you can see where we are. I want to call my very good friend, Clifford Julians. Very unique name, but there is Ubiambo in between. He's the Chief Administrative Officer at Karen Hospital, probably transitioning, but he will say more about that. The reason I call him is that he and his team are hugely responsible for putting this together. Believe you me, I wasn't even a member of that committee in a substantive capacity. I was an ex officio. So my friend Julians, come take over, please. Just say a bit about you, introduce the team in a maximum of 5 minutes. I know you are good, special in matters administration. So, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
I wonder how Mr. Moyo would imitate my height. Moyo, where are you? The 1,000 shillings that the principal was going to give you, I will add another 1,000. And this is a promise to you. You're a Form 4 candidate. Get an A minus, you will get 100,000 Kenya shillings from the alumni. Okay? To the rest of the student family and to everyone here, you're witnesses to that promise. We are a few months away from it. I know he's good. And I will talk shortly about why specifically as a team we have made that promise. Forgive me for not following protocol. Chairman of the board, Chair of the Parents Association, our chief guest, principal, teachers and the student fraternity, good afternoon. God is good and all the time. All right. Just allow me to do something that's slightly unique. Do we still have the house/dorm Osewe? Could we have members of Osewe please stand up? Okay, so let's keep it there. I have 5 minutes, so just remain standing. Because Mr. Moyo made us all laugh, and courtesy of Osewe, which I believe Wakili was the first ever dorm that was set up in the school, in our 100-year heritage, I know at least 19 alumni who were part and parcel of the history that is Osewe House. So I am going to take a challenge to them and say, now that we are making fun of you, we need to pick that as a project and make you a model house. Sawa sawa. Please be sitting. I have 3 minutes remaining, and before I say anything about myself, allow me to introduce our eminent members of the Alumni Special Subcommittee for Careers and Prize Giving Day. And even as I want to call those who've been able to make it here today, you as students may be wondering why. The day you came to this school, you probably came with your parents, your grandparent, your guardian, your uncle, your auntie, but most importantly, whoever brought you here, once they were done with your registration, they left you here, alone first. For a few moments you were alone before you were handed over to your class, before you were handed over to your house. So always remember, in everything that you do, first and foremost, you're an individual. Secondly, the reason why we are all here, the reason why we have alumni, is because we are family. And this family is called the Maranda High School family. Those who are in Form 4,
5 to 10 years from now, you will be standing where Wakili and myself are standing. Those of you who are in Form 1, 9 to 15 years from now, you'll be standing where we are standing. Please remember, we are a family. And in a family, you make sure you have a set of values. In a family, you make sure you bring each other up. In a family, you make sure that you look out for your own. And in your family, you try and identify what the other family member is good at, and you actually promote that. We, as the Maranda High School fraternity, starting from yourselves, who are the most important, because without you today, this school will not exist. Then secondly, all those who have passed here since 1920. One of the things that has become very clear, the school here will give you a full 360 education. Social, academic, and everything else that goes with it. But the day you leave that gate in the same way you came alone, for some moments you will be alone. And please, if you forget anything else today, remember this. The alumni decided to set up this session today as a start so that when you finalize on the last ink, writing your final paper, and walk out of that door, you will be clear on the options you have for life. It's very, very important for you as an individual to start figuring out, where is life taking me? And alumni are here to help impact those lessons to you, to walk the journey with you, so that 6 years from now, the Form 4 class that are here, when you come for an interview and I'm seated on the panel, I'll be able to say, I have seen the work that we have done, and this candidate is prepared to get an economic work. If you go out and start your own business, become a farmer, become the best footballer out there in the world, in whatever you choose to do to add value to the world, you will actually be in a position to say you are molded well. Having said those many words, I only have 1 more minute remaining. We might pass the 5 minutes mark. But now allow me to ask the members of the committee to come in front. I would want them to introduce themselves directly. So Dr. Ongore, Dr. Vitali Sogola, the Director of Studies, Mr. Peter, please come. Allow me at this particular opportunity also to give an apology of Wakili Evans Makori. He was bereaved, so he was unable to make it. So the head of HR for, I believe, MediaMax, Mr. Charles, he was also unable to come. His son was taken unwell. Mike, also welcome. So, testing 1, 2. The committee chosen out of the alumni of close to 4,000 alumni members right now as we stand was made up of 6 individuals and 1 ex-official. 2 individuals were not able to make it, and so I shall pass over the microphone to your Director of Studies and our alumni coordinator at Maranda High School, and allow him to introduce himself, and then he'll pass over the microphone as we go until the end, and we'll allow the introductions. Please give a glimpse of your heritage at Maranda, whether it's your class or house and the year you left, so that our fellow family members can know you better.
Thank you, Clifford. I'm Peter Ucheng. I joined Maranda High School on 26th of January 1995, admission 4985, and left in 1998. Thank you. I was in Bonyo B. That time Bonyo was divided, Bonyo A and Bonyo B. So I was in Bonyo B. Class, from 1 East, from 2 East, from 3 North, from 4 North. Thank you.
My name is Vincent Ongore. PhD. That is important for you. I came here on Monday, 26th of January 1981 at 12:39 p.m. Admission number 2638. Index number 75002-010. Index 10, we were 154 students, despite having missed school for 1.5 years. My dormitory was Tomboy A. I don't know if it is still there. Is it still there? All right. My subjects, maths, physics, chemistry, biology, English, geography, agriculture. Hizo zingine si kufanya. Hata Kiswahili. Anything else? I have worked for Kenya Revenue Authority for 30 years, up to the level of Deputy Commissioner. Today I work as a university teacher at the Technical University of Kenya. I'm in the School of Business. I earned my doctorate from the School of Business in University of Nairobi. I have other qualifications from UK, Namibia, and lately I'm pursuing another qualification at the University of Denver in Colorado, where I also teach. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, boys. My name is Michael Olwen Ogut. I joined this school on the 12th February 1997, left in November the year 2000. My classes was Form 1 West until Form 2 West, then 3 East, and then of course Form 4 East. And of course I was index 19, that I remember very well. My dorm was Mboya, you can see it's just behind me here. But what I would like to tell the boys that you are in a very important school. I know based on your age, sometimes you may be a bit not sure where you are. But remember, by the time you leave here, probably 4 or 5 years later, you will understand that this is a very important school that gives you a foundation that will take you to unlimited places. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, boys. My name is Vitalis Ugola. I'm a dentist by profession. I do know time is pressed. I would ask the person who used to beat me when I was here just to wave. Mike, please, just stand up and wave. This guy was number 1 from Form 3 until he left. I was number 3 from Form 3 until he left. No matter how much I worked hard, he was always number 1. He's now my colleague, he's a medical doctor. I'm a dentist, we went to the university at the same time. My dorm was Osewe, coincidentally with Julian, who was my committee member. I became a prefect, went through the many cubicles, and I finished in Odebe. I was in Form 1 West, Form 2 West, Form 3 East, and Form 4 East. It is a career day, and I would wish that our colleagues also at least talk about the careers, other than just giving mentorship. I would like to tell all of you here that you're all capable. You have come through this school by good grades. You have come to a school that has good teachers. And you're in a school with good amenities. You have no reason not to succeed. The only difference between the time you came and the time you leave is how focused you are. There's no magic. I left this school in 2004. A quick calculation, I've always felt young, but it tells me the people in Form 4 were born the year I was leaving, which is a very interesting realization. The people who are in Form 1, Form 2, you were born after I left this school. In short, to be a dentist, oftentimes people think of doctor as being what we call MBCHB. You know, the people who treat when you have malaria, when you have all the combinations in the body. When I was here, there was an alumnus who left 2 years before us, who became a dentist. At that time, I wasn't so certain which career I wanted to pick. but I wasn't so excited about going to university for 6 years or 5 years. So medicine somehow wasn't part of the options. Pharmacy exists, so I'll just tell you the Form 4s and the Form 3s and the Form 2s and the Form 1s. It is good to have a guide of where you want to be. It is okay for a Form 1 or a Form 2 not to be still certain, but at least as you go to Form 3 and Form 4, have a rough idea of the careers you want. It may not be firmed up that you're certain you want to be a dentist like me, but at least know the things you don't want. I was so certain I didn't want to be an engineer. Sorry to the engineers. I've never loved machines. I only like owning them, not getting into the grease. So at least I had that idea that I don't want this. So I was much more focused on what I wanted out of curiosity. So don't just walk through the system and hope that things will find their place. Have a guide. One thing I've been able to compare with other schools, which was different in this school, is that by the time we're in Form 3, we used to have those guides from JAB. Now I think it's called COOPS. We used to know that this number of points would lead you to a particular course. I hope that still happens to the teachers. It works as a motivation. I remember I opted out of physics for the reason I've told you. I was not interested in engineering. But I remember one day being called to the academics department. And one of the teachers told me, now that you've decided to leave physics, you have to pass maths. So I knew I had no choice, because if I failed maths, my career desires were going to be closed. So a video was meant to be done for me on being in my clinic as a dentist, so that you could see what I do, and I've met some of you who are my patients, so that you at least have a glimpse about what it is to be a dentist. But in summary, I'll tell you this. People assume we just sit to remove teeth. We don't go to school just to remove teeth for 4 years. There are many things we do. And in a nutshell, is that if I were to praise dentistry, is that you will settle in your career way early. You finish your school, you do your internship for 1 year, and you can set up a practice. I did set up my practice, private practice, immediately I finished internship. So if you're the kind who probably love to be in control and do your own stuff in your own space, then dentistry would be good for you. Well, of course, I would also say that dentistry is lucrative. We do not lack. I think all my classmates that I know, I'm certain are able to at least afford a decent car, take their kids to good schools. So if that is your desire, you're safe with being a dentist. I'm not just preaching for the sake of you being dentist, but it is upon me to tell you that there's a course called Bachelor of Dental Surgery. It's offered in Nairobi University. It's offered in Moi University. And the bottom line then was that you had to pass your maths, physics, or maths or physics, biology, and the likes. But in totality, what we realized, because many people are passing, please pass all your exams. Okay? I chose to talk to you about my dentistry because I desire that if there's somebody who is here and wants to be a dentist, please feel safe that you're in a good career. We may be here many years down the line. You are in Maranda, but Maranda means nothing if you get nothing out of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we exit the stage and I hand over back the microphone to our chair, allow me to also reintroduce myself. I am a trained finance and IT specialist. I did my undergraduate at Moi University. I have a master's both in IT and in finance from USIU and Strathmore. I am also a career banker who exited banking after 14 years to become the CFO of Karen Hospital, and now I've transitioned over as Chief Administrative Officer as I undershadow the CEO to take over in 2 to 3 years. Thank you very much as I hand over the microphone back to our chair. Yes, thank you very much, my friend Clifford, for that elaborate introduction, and thanks a lot to that team for putting together what we are doing today. It is time to introduce the alumni who are here. And we're gonna try to make it quick because we know you have sacrificed. Some of us have been looking forward to this. Many of us would have wished to be here, but they couldn't be here with us. And I want to give very special recognition to the entire fraternity of the alumni who are here. Please come to the dais. We're going to make it short. Dr. Rikam, you are always number one beating that guy there. So we want to introduce you. At least I can see two classmates of mine who must come here. One can issue orders against me, so I'm being very careful. Please come. Alumni are here. I can see you looking at. Please come. It will just be your name, your dormitory, the year you left. Come. Because a Maranda alumnus must never be shy. Na waona tu, wanakaa tu. Lakini watakuja. We are not moving forward. The only one who is not coming is the keynote speaker. Please, if you are here, naona tu, they are here. Please come. Keep coming. Yes, I know why. You guys didn't know this, yeah? Did you know that they were here as students? No, you didn't. Please come. Come. We're going to do this. We have to do this. Come. We may cut anything else from the program, but we can't fail to introduce you. And we are going to shorten the program. Dr. Namachanje, we have a way. We will cut some sections of that program, but we can't stop this. Naona wengine bado wako hapo. Please come. Yes, mnawajua. Come. You don't want to talk to our young men and women. I'll actually just give the microphone so that this be done. Allow me, I may be wrong, but I can guess from the faces the order of seniority. You know, when I go to court with Ambassador Wade, it doesn't matter whether I came at 8 or whatever. He has to address the court before me. That is the order in which things happen. Not that we are bringing that. I think it's just good. Even in African culture, that is what we used to do. So I'll give it to probably the senior most in the team. Please introduce yourself. I'm looking at you, sir. Yeah, just take the microphone. I've not met all of them, but probably I've talked to most of them.
Thank you very much, colleague, old boys, the teachers present, and the students of Maranda School. Good afternoon. My name is Dan Ouma. I left Maranda in the year 1986 from Form 4A. By then, there were only 3 streams. I was in the arts class. I was a member of Borbonyo, but when Osewe was repaired, we were the lot that moved to Osewe. I think this is the house. A teacher by profession, and I want to say that I never started here in Form 1. I joined Maranda in Form 3. I transferred from another school. And I want to say that there's something unique about Maranda. And the uniqueness was that time when I joined, the standards of teaching were completely different to where I came from. And it makes me to remember great teachers, God rest their soul in peace, the late Mr. Misi, Mr. Ndege, And I think Mr. Mondi Roy is still alive. We used to call him Omondi Teko. And we were taught here by great teachers, Mr. Elio Siemo, who later became a principal of this school, Mr. Magwa, and I remember Mr. J.Z. Juma. The great Motwa Jos and Mr. Nyanjom, those were some of our great teachers. I teach at a school in Busia called Butula, and I've interacted with a number of old boys of Maranda in various ways, whether in the corridors of court and in the world of media. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Maranda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mwalimu Dan Ogola. I think Dan Ouma, we spoke on phone, and I know you are principal of a school in Busia. Yes, chief principal of Butula High School. Give him a... I'm looking at the team, and I must say that the next oldest lot must be my contemporaries, year 1991. If there is anybody who was here earlier than that, please speak. Now, my friend Wycliffe.
Jambo. It's an honor to come to Maranda after so many years. I left Maranda in 1991. I was his classmate, plus someone here. The dormitory was Bore, somewhere down there. I was dining hall prefect. Oh, I look like one, yeah? Oh, something to inspire those people who are laughing at dining hall. Before my time, somehow, dining hall prefect never used to go to the university. So I was the first person to break that jinx. Class-wise, North, yeah, I joined in Form 2. Form 2 was, I think, East. Then 3 North, Form 4 North. I joined University of Nairobi, Chiromo campus, where I did chemistry and mathematics. I've worked in many places, including GlaxoSmithKline. Those days it was called SmithKline Beecham. I worked at Unilever, Crown Paints, before I decided to get into my own business. I'm a certified information systems auditor. I decided to go into IT, so I founded an IT company. What else? Oh, one of the privileges of being a prefect those days was there was no going to pond, okay? For us as prefects. That pond issue, you should count yourselves very lucky. Thank you.
To the chair board, Daktari, the chair of Parents Association, the chief principal, teachers, parents present, and students, plus my fellow alumni. Good afternoon. My name is Dixon Onyango. I'm one of the lucky alumni because I also created an alumni. My son left this school last year. So you can see there are more alumni because of me. I was in Boya Dome, and actually the Dome captain then. I'm a lawyer by profession, but now I jail people for a living. So that's what I do. Ben was my classmate, and I can tell it's good to establish relationships because Ben was my classmate right from Form 1. We went to the same university. We finished together. Of course, we debated. He is in a private practice and teaching. I joined the judiciary to jail people. And for students, we talked about discipline. Please, discipline is key. I have had the unfortunate responsibility of sending a few students to jail for indiscipline, particularly arson, which has become a very big problem in school. So please, let none of you be my customers one of these days. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Chief Magistrate. I won't say which station, but just as he says, please, you don't want to cross his path. He may be looking soft now, but it's different when he is on that seat. I think the next is Bono Dane. Dr. Dane. Then you know the order in which the rest will come.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Dane Jacob. I left this school in 1994. I was in Form 4 East, which is currently Form 4 Pink. My house, somebody is doing parody, he's asking me how. I know what. My house was Bonyo A. I think Mr. Ching told you that we have Bonyo and Gor currently, but initially it was Bonyo A and then Bonyo B, Gor A and Gor B. Currently I'm the Deputy Principal, Maranda High School. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. My name is Ongoro Simon. I joined this school in February 1993 and left in November 1996. I joined in the East Stream and I went all through up to the Form 4 East. Currently I'm teaching here. I teach biology and I've been here for some time. And beyond that, I'm equally a parent. In Form 2, in Form 4, I slept in Gor B. Thank you. My admission number 4762.
Good afternoon. My name is David Dindi. They used to call me a man from around, the boy from the community. And I was the first boy to transition from Maranda Primary to Maranda High School in the 90s. Yeah, so Maranda has made me who I am today, and I never purpose to miss any activity in this school. And also to mention, I'm a trained teacher who taught in teaching practice. I'm a classmate, a coursemate to one of your teachers seated here. I won't mention the name. Yeah, and I'm also privileged here to be with my first boss, who diverted me from teaching into banking. Mr. George Ogol, I saw you somewhere. That was my first boss. Yeah, so thank you so much. I come from around. My home is just next to Maranda Special School. Feel part of us. If you are passing by, don't miss to get some drinking water. Thank you. So I left here in 2002. I was in Ayanyi dormitory.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor and it's a pleasure to be here. I left in 2004 with Vitalis, as he's mentioned. Joined from 1 North, 2 North, and then went to 3 West, and then from 4 West. Yeah. My dorm was Ayan. Then, because I was a prefect and then school captain, I went to Bonyo B. Yes, it was Bonyo B. That is where we were housed. Yeah. By training, I'm a medical doctor. And again, it's very humbling because one of my teachers is here, your chair, your board chair. So it's actually a very humbling experience. Yeah. He said he has been in the field of medicine for more than 30 years. I would say I'm slightly shy of not even half of what he's done. Yeah. But I'm not the kind of, I'm a medical doctor, but I don't treat. I left clinical work. I mainly do, the simple way to put it is I advise governments, both here and abroad, on how to plan and how to pay for healthcare. I had someone from NHIF, so my field is actually what we call health financing. And it's really a pleasure to be back. And again, more humbling is that I have my brother here in Form 2. So it's also quite impressive to come back, very nostalgic. Thank you very much.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon. Manoa Duncan Oya is my name. I left this school in 2008. I was in Form 4 North, 1 North, 2 North, 3 North, and then finally 4 North. Admission number 6763. I used to sleep in Umondi dormitory. Then I came back here as a teacher in 2014, and I'm not planning to leave soon. Thank you.
All protocol observed. My name is, good afternoon, Ole Silvan Sotieno. I joined Maranda High School in February 2009 in Form 1 Orange and left in 2012 November Form 4 Orange. I slept in Magwa dormitory, but at the time we were leaving, we were members of Owino dormitory. Came to Maranda as a teacher in 2017, and I'll be here for longest time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Peter Otieno. I joined this school in 2010. I was in Form 1 Pink, Form 2 Pink, Form 3 Blue, and I left as a member of Form 4 Blue. Admission 81 at 5. I was a member of Omondi dormitory, and currently I'm a teacher here. You know me, guys, you know? Yes, I'm a proud teacher of Maranda. I'm waiting for TSC to do something so that I can remain here, God willing. I'm a senior house master, Midega House. I had to mention that Midega was my boarding master, Mr. Midega. Thank you. I think that's all.
Good afternoon. My names are Wilson Omondi Obiero. I joined this school in 2015 and left in 2018. I got a B+ and I went to pursue Bachelor of Education Science in Kenyatta University, taking physics and chemistry. I am right now here as a teacher in practice. I'm doing my teaching practice in this school, and with due respect, during my time, some of the teaching staff that are here, like Dr. Odeng and the chief principal, Dr. Namachanja, were already holding the positions that they are currently holding right now. So I am grateful to be back in this school as a teacher in practice. And I slept in Osiemo dormitory, Owino A and Ogango A dormitory. I was in the red stream from Form 1 to Form 4. Thank you. I have forgotten to mention my class teacher all the way from Form 1 to Form 4 was Madam Pauline Ochieng.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. I'm Kevin Otieno from Bondo. I joined in 2010. That was February, and I left in 2013. And I can attest that 90% of the teachers present, I passed through them. And Madam Pauline Ochieng inspired what I undertook at the university. University of Nairobi, BSc Laboratory Medicine, I did my internships at Kenyatta National Hospital and Chiromo Funeral Parlor as assistant pathologist. I was assisting my senior pathologist in dissection and preparing of the body. So, yeah, so currently I've also pursued a diploma in business management, and currently I'm a CEO of my own business. I left practice a bit and will join because I'm still young. I will pursue. So what I would advise my fellow colleagues is that as a student, set your purpose, dream, and as long as you live, one day your dream will come true. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all the alumni who have managed to make time for this event today. It is because of you we are here. We're going to take it very quickly from here. Just some quick remarks on what the alumni is about and what we plan in the immediate future. One is that we want to walk this journey with you, and we trust that you will find it in your heart to want to walk the journey with us. That is a commitment that we are making today. We are making it to the BOM through the chair. We are making it to the school administration and staff through the chief principal. We are making it as hopefully people of integrity in the alumni, and we hope that the students will live up to the motto, integrity in practice. Secondly, is that we are also trying to scale the staircase as we chew gum at the same time. I said, yes, we started this journey long. It has been slow, sometimes very painstaking, but we will get there. If you hear the story about the pond, and not the fact that now people are not going to the pond, some people took it upon themselves as part of the alumni to work with the school to ensure that there was water in the school. Let me recognize that regime of my very good friend, my boss when I was here, Engineer Nyango Mboya. Let me recognize a classmate who was also a teacher here. We were hoping he would come, probably he's still held up, Mr. Airo, who was my classmate. I think he's principal of Sirembe right now. Let me recognize also a teacher who left here not so long ago. I don't know if any of these students ever saw him, Mr. Okewa, who was always the secretary of that team. And to underscore the role both Mr. Airo and Mr. Okewa did, I want to just urge the teachers who are alumni of this school, we will rely on you to find foot and room and space to work with the school. That is what your predecessors did to us. And we have seen that every time the teachers who are alumni are strong and committed, the alumni works. The alumni association works. So we are as good as our champions who are in the school. You know the school, you know the challenges. It is in your heart that this is your school. By no means am I undermining the role of every teacher in ensuring the success, but I'm only saying that for those who are here as students, there is an added responsibility on your shoulder, and we want to trust that we can ride on your shoulders to reach the school and to do what we ought to do to this school. Second, in that regard, I really want to thank the school administration, starting with the chair and the principal. They saw it fit. When we discussed, we have been having a series of dialogues, they saw it fit that we should have a focal point. That is a desk at this school that will also be in charge of alumni affairs. And I don't know whether on an interim basis or substantively, Mwalimu Pito Chieng, thank you very much. You've started a great job. When we come, that will be our first point of call. Whether the principal is around or not, we really would want to work with that office to know and to prioritize the things we can do and how we can work with you. So that is a great thing. We discussed it at one of our dialogue meetings when the chair reached out to us and we met. We want presence here. The third is that I said we are working and scaling the stairs and chewing gum. We already have a committee that is working with the school administration to develop what we are calling Maranda High School Master Plan. It's very important because the student population is increasing. There is also CBC coming in. The pressure to develop infrastructure is big. The infrastructure to meet the demand is going to be huge. We have to do it in a methodical and organized way, and that is where that issue of master plan comes in. We have put in place a committee of luminaries in the specific fields that make master plan, headed by, again, sorry to say, my classmate, Dr. Omondi Owino Frederick, who is the head of department at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University, is the head of Department of Spatial Planning, worked for a long time at the Ministry of Land, reached the level of head of planning, I think, at some county level, and then went into academia. He is flanked with a team of experts, an architect, a surveyor, a valuer, an environmental lawyer who happens to be me, and we have another one I don't want to forget. But anyway, we have the team in place, so it's going to work. The second team that we have put together is the Careers and Mentorship Committee. And you saw them here. It's sort of on an interim basis, but you can see the work they have done. So interim or not, we are going to have that as a standing committee of the alumni. Because we say at the end of the day, when results of the national examinations come out, it may not matter so much the other things, good things that we will have done. People will ask, what is Maranda's position in the national exams? So we don't want to undermine the value of many other things that must happen in school, but to make us proud, starting this year, by scoring very well and being competitive in the national exam. You don't have a choice about that. In our time, there was no electricity as we know it today. There was a generator. It used to be switched off at 9:30, and it used to be switched on at around 5 in the morning. In between, you were on your own. So we would come with lamps. Zile za mafuta, you light it to go. We used to call it nocturnal. It was not easy, my friends. So imagine hakuna stima, unatumia taa. Sometimes, for some of us who are not privileged, you could use ile taa ya wick or a candle because you want to catch up on what is going on. And that is in addition to going to the pond and many other things. So you are privileged. And as my colleagues have said, you don't have an option but to make us proud. So we have those two committees. We are working on a number of things at the same time. We are discussing with the school how to come in. We will put our act together. This was just a starting point. We hope to make this bigger and better, and we trust that we will walk this journey with you. With those many remarks, allow me to hand over to my very good friend, Dr. Ngore, to lead the program from here.
We are running behind schedule, and we have been forced to excise a bit of the items in the program. And so this takes me to the keynote speaker. But before I do that, let me make a few corrections. Because this is a school and we need to be clear on what you're talking about. You don't say my names are. You say my name is. Even if it is as long as mine, Vincent, Joseph, Peter, Oduor, Julians, Okoth, Ongore. My name. I slept in. We did not bring you to Maranda to sleep. You stayed at. Stayed at Tomboya A. Okay? An alumni. A male former student, Alumni'S, female former student, alumna. Male former students, alumni. Female former students, alumni. A and E at the end. Former school or institution, alma mater. Are we okay up to there? All protocols observed. That has currency in Africa and Caribbean only, nowhere else. It is a way of saying, I have not observed protocol. Just say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to call Asanteni sana, but please allow me to call Ambassador Piero Kowade to give us the keynote address. The principal of the school, the staff, all the officials of the Mahisa, all students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Yeah, I know we've been here for long. The sun sometimes is hot, so I understand the need to make this as short as we can. I have a very long speech to see here. I'm a bit digital, but I think I will not read it. I will talk to it. I want to appreciate Dr. Ngore, who has made some corrections that I was going to correct, that I was going to make. I don't know where this thing of my names came from, but that is not the English you are taught. So it's very right. It is my name is. And for me, my name is Philip Richard Owade. Although there are many names, but that is my name. So we want products of Maranda to disabuse themselves of that usage, misuse of the language. Protocol, again, Dr. Ngore is very right. I'm a trained lawyer and a trained diplomat. But I can tell you that all protocols observed is a phrase which was invented in Nigeria. If you talk to an Englishman or anybody from the West and you say all protocols observed, they get very surprised. But it has become part of our life. I think, as you have said, you can recognize a few people. Those that you have noted, when you say ladies and gentlemen, you cover all of them. Isn't it? Now, as I have said, my name is Philip Richard Owade. I joined this school, Maranda, in February 1971. That looks ancient, doesn't it? But it's just the other day. Do I look that old? Do I? I look old. How do old people look? I think I'm older than many of your parents, eh? So that's why you think I'm very old. But before you realize, you will be my age. And you will realize you are very young. Oh yes, you will realize you are very young. Now, I went to a primary school in Weoma known as Nyabera. I don't know how many students here know me. I would want to know. I'm just curious. And there's a reason I'm asking. If you know me, can you raise your hand? There's none. So it means there are no students here from my area. Wow, that is very serious, because during my time, this was the most popular school. I think it's still popular, but maybe they are not making it, because there are many schools now. Now, when we sat for, it was then called CPE, in 1970, there was a time we had to choose schools. So you go to the class, and the head teacher calls out your name, and you mention the 3 schools in order of preference.
that you want to attend. I wanted to go to Maseno School because one of the reasons is because one of my elder brothers was going to be in Form 6 when I would be in Form 1. So I wanted to benefit under his tutelage. So I stood up and said I wanted Maseno. And the headmaster, who was my uncle, the brother to my father, looked at me with very bad eyes. And he said, "How dare you?" So I stopped at that stage. During lunch break, I went home. I had a quick lunch. I passed through his home now to try to persuade him why I had chosen why I wanted to go to Maseno. He told me, "No, you cannot, because of two reasons. You are not as bright as your elder brother." My elder brother was a genius. He studied medicine. He was really bright. But I thought I was bright enough to make it to a national school, not just to Maseno. Then he told me also, how are you going to afford bus fare to Maseno? I had done my arithmetic. I had done my research. School fees at Maranda at that time was 620 shillings per year. How much do you pay now? Eh? How much do you pay now? Huh? Huh? How much do you pay? Say loudly. 75,000, he tells me. Huh? You said 70? What did you say? He doesn't know. Because the parents pay. Anyway, the fees was at Maranda was 620 shillings per year, not per term. The fees at Maseno was 410 shillings. For some, I don't even think strange reasons. I think the government really subsidized national schools. So national schools were actually cheaper in terms of school fees than provincial schools. 410 shillings. So I said the difference between 620 and 410, fare to Maseno was just about 20 shillings. So, it will be cheaper for you, sir, to send me to Maseno. But he said no. Instead, I was caned thoroughly for daring to dream that I could go to Maseno, for embarrassing him in class. So he chose for me Maranda. Now, when the day that we got the results, is the same one who delivered. The headmasters, they went and picked the results. And he brought it home. He had come home. I was seated with another uncle, his follower. My father was the eldest. Jumped out of his bicycle with jubilation. He said, Wodomera, ikabo pinch. Makata Maseno dinidi. That means you have passed so highly that you could even have gone to Maseno. You didn't know I was boiling with rage. And indeed, I would have gone to Maseno because there was a student in a neighboring school who had a point lower than me who was selected to go to Maseno. But that is how I ended up in Maranda. I was a little late because I couldn't get school fees for the almost 1 month because so I was late. I came. After about 2 weeks, I decided to come to the school just to check if my position was still there. I remember some of my elders in Form 4. One came from my area. There were very many students from my area at Maranda at that time. I'm surprised that they are not here now. So one of them introduced me to some of the prefects, and he lied to them. I was fairly big-bodied. I think these days you are very young for someone. We were young, but we were fairly, I was fairly big-bodied. So he told this guy that, this is a Form 4 student at Kisumu High. And yet, I had not even enrolled in Form 1. So I couldn't contradict him because he was my senior, but I knew there was trouble. So when I came back, the headmaster, the head boy, reminded me, but you are the one who told us the other day you are Form 4 at Kisumu High. So I had to apologize. I said, no, I couldn't contradict my senior. So sometimes you find yourself in those situations. Now at Maranda, I was admitted in then Form 1A. There were only 3 streams. 3 streams of 40 students each. So the total class was 120. The total population of the school was 480. 120 times 4, because we only went up to Form 4. 480, I'm told now you are how many? 2,000. Yeah, we were 480. My admission number, I think I'm one of the few people here with an admission number below 1,000. My admission number is 895. I stayed in Osewe. I think there were 2 Osewes at that time. There was Osewe 1 and Osewe 2. I think I stayed in Osewe 1. Osewe 1 is one which is very close to the road. I don't know whether I can still. It is this one. Eh? Where are they? Yeah, very close to the road. And then the next one was Osewe 2. I think we also had Omondi. I don't know whether Omondi is still there. Then I think Bonyo and Gor had just been built. I think they were fairly new, and it was quite a privilege to be in Bonyo, to live in Bonyo and Gor. But I stayed in that Osewe house for the 4 years that I was here. So I was admitted in Form 1A. The admission was in accordance with how well you passed. I don't know whether that is still done now. Yeah, how well. So the best students or people who performed very well were admitted in Form 1A. So we had A, B, and C at that time. As you proceeded to Form 2, there was, again, depending on how you performed in the final exams of the year, you would then go to 2A or 2B or 2C. When we were ready to go to Form 3, the structure was changed a bit. They introduced 3 science. So there was 3S, there was 3B, which was for business, and there was 3, because I think at that time they had introduced business studies. And in 3, the other one was 3A, 3B, and 3C. C, I think, stood for, well, can't remember. But then I had made up my mind by the time we were finishing Form 2. Very strangely, I had made up my mind that I wanted to study law. And to study law, what you needed was, of course, a good pass, Division 1, which, well, you could go with a strong Division 2, but mostly it was Division 1. Division 1 would be the equivalent of A grade now. And to get Division 1, you had to have less than 22 or 23 points. Now, how are the points? This is history, but it's important to know. How are the points graded? The best grade was Distinction 1. Then you had Distinction 2. Then you had Credit 3, Credit 4, Credit 5, and Credit 6. Then you had passes 7 and 8. Then 9 was failure. I think 9 is the equivalent of what? E now. So there's a failure. Huh? I want you to communicate with me so that you don't go to sleep. Huh? Yeah, so 9 was the total failure. So I had decided that in my own mind, I think I needed the arts subjects more than the science subjects for me to study law. So when I came back to Form 3, I was I moved my desk literally from 3S, 3 science, to 3B. No, 3A. Yeah, it was 3S, 3A, and 3B. B for business, A for arts, yes. I moved my desk to A. The staff met and discussed my case. I thought the careers master, Mr. Bito Yama, I think he's still alive, comes from Gema. Brilliant man who taught us, it was then called CRE, Christian Religious Education. I thought he would defend me because I was the best in CRE, I was the best in English, I was the best in history. So I thought he would defend me, but he didn't. So the staff met and decided that I should go back to 3 science. And I had no choice but to do that. Now that turned out to be a very big advantage because this was the most competitive class. And it is good to be in a competitive class because this was the class of, we used to call ourselves academic giants. And we would work with what you call academic angle of inclination. You know that? Do you still work with academic angle of inclination? The shoulder goes a bit like this. And you are carrying Abbott. Abbott is a very good physics book. Is it still there? Abbott in physics. And there was another huge book in biology. So that competition was very, very necessary for me. I think it enabled me to do much better than I would have done. Now before, I think I'm skipping a story. Before we proceeded from 3, I think towards the end of third term, of second term in Form 2, a very interesting incident happened. The headmaster who admitted us was known as Odongo. I can't remember his first name. But he didn't stay long. Then we were brought a headmaster, an English headmaster, an Englishman, known as D.L. Lewis. Now D.L. Lewis, I think if you check the records, you will see, I think the name should be there, principal, among the people who were headmasters here. D.L. Lewis was brought because Maranda was then known for indiscipline. There was serious indiscipline in this school. There were students who were taking drugs, there were students who were drinking, there were students who were generally unruly. So I think the government decided that they wanted to bring a disciplinarian, D.L. Lewis. And the man had very colonial mentality. After a few weeks in school, he decided to expel and suspend quite a number of students. So we were invited to the parade. I don't know where that parade was. I think it wasn't here. I think it's behind this class. There was a place there where we would, the school has changed. I can hardly recognize it. There's a place where we'd have the parade every morning. We would sing Christian hymns. Do you still sing? Because that is one of the best traditions I remember this school with. You still sing the Christian hymns? Or you don't? I would plead with the principal to introduce that. I still enjoy those songs up to now. Like stand up, oh Jesus. I still remember that up to now. Of course, we sing them in our churches. But those are some of the, I was seeing the blackboard there. Integrity, chastity, honesty, hospitality, loyalty, love, unity, responsibility. But I think one of the things that this school taught us, it had a very strong Christian tradition. So anyway, we were invited to the parade, we were summoned to the parade, and the headmaster read a list which went like this. The following students have been expelled. So there were a number of students there. Then he said the following students have been suspended indefinitely. And to my shock, my name was there. A student who had not had any disciplinary issue at all, well, if let's say students made noise in class before the teacher comes, you'd find me there. There you will find me. But that is not a serious disciplinary issue, is it? Or it is. Before the teacher comes, you can talk and make noise. Yeah, but when the teacher enters the classroom, everybody is quiet. Yeah, there you would find me. So I say, what have I done? And you know, we were ordered to go and pack our belongings, get in front of the staff room, and we were put into a lorry, school lorry. And the driver of the lorry instructed to take us all the way to Ndori. You know where Ndori is? But for me, I come from Uyoma, so the shortest route for me is from Banda, straight to Missouri, that Banda Missouri road. But we wouldn't listen. That's the kind of colonial mentality I'm talking about. So we were headed to Ndori. I managed to find my way home. I went to see my brother who was a teacher in Alego, Awinga. It was very harsh, but was able to believe me when I told him that I really don't know. So we came with him. He tried to explore, even with the other teachers, what could have happened, and none of the teachers knew. So sometimes you can be victimized unfairly. You agree with me? And that was my story. I was victimized unfairly. Anyway, so we went home. The headmaster would not even see him. D.L. Lewis would not even see my brother. And he didn't give any reason why I was suspended. So I went home. But as fate would have it, or thanks to God, by the end of, during the holidays, that headmaster was transferred. I think the administration, the Ministry of Education realized that he was not good for the school. Because there are many students even sent to jail. Yes, the magistrate. There are many there are many students who are in remand. They would sit their exams, but when they finish the exams, they are taken to remand. And from remand, they are brought to sit exams. You know, because he identified them as, people who needed that kind of discipline. So he was transferred. So he didn't last even for a year, D.L. Lewis. So the moment we heard that he was transferred, I packed my bags and I came back to school. There was a new headmaster known as J.S. Koga. Some of you know him or have heard of him. He's now the late. Koga believed in caning. Are you still caned? There is still corporal punishment. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. Where is the truth? Okay, at that time, corporal punishment in secondary schools was very rare. We had a teacher who would, when it was called Nyanga Pel Wargadira, he was teaching mathematics. So he used to tell us, I'm preaching the gospel of mathematics. And I want you by the end of the year to be converted. So he would enter class and start teaching whether you are making noise or not. Whether there are only 2 students in class, he did not care, because he was preaching the gospel of mathematics. When it was his turn, when he was the one in charge for the week, he would call names of those he wanted to punish. So he would say, come with a slasher, a panga, a jembe, a wheelbarrow, and the school lorry if possible. And then he would take you to the, I don't know whether the school garden is still there. Do you still have the school garden? Yeah, so he would take you to the school garden and tell you clear from here to there. You say, but this will take me 3 days. Say, no, you must do it. But the interesting thing is that he never even came back to check. So you just chose what to do, you know? You do what you think is fair, and by the end of the day, you are okay. Yeah, so J.S. Koga, the new principal, after about a week or so, summoned us to the staff room and told us, you are the ones that have been told spoiling this school. So he gave us corporal punishment. And then also, I think we also, almost for a whole week, worked in the school garden. And that was it. But, because I'm telling this story at length, because how and why did my name end up in that list? In Form 2, I was an inspector. I don't know whether you still have that title. Dormitory inspector. You have nothing like that? Well, dormitory inspector was a responsibility. You check the cleanliness of the dormitory. Has it been properly cleaned? Is the veranda, the surrounding properly swept? Have the students made their bed? So I was an inspector, and generally it is from those kind of responsibilities that prefects were appointed as we moved from, particularly from 3. There was a student who had been here earlier, went away, I think, because of school fees, and came back to join us in Form 2, who had a very, very large ego. First, he thought that he was the best the best student in English, but he could not beat me. Second, he thought I was a threat. I think he had a higher responsibility for me. He wasn't a prefect, but he had a responsibility that made him sit, I think, in the prefect's. He was kind of a prefect already. So it is this student who decided to seize this opportunity to put my name among those that were to be suspended. I got to know it because one of the prefects disclosed that to me. But I forgave him. And as life turned out, I don't think he went far. To begin with, he didn't even pass very well. He didn't proceed to A-levels, nor did he proceed to the university. But I think God must have rewarded him in his own sense. So he came back. My extracurricular activity was mainly, I started what was then called the journalism club. I don't know whether you have that now. Yes, I think I'm proud to say I'm the one who started that club. I was very interested in journalism. If I had not studied law, I would have studied journalism. And we would write articles, we would write editorials, we would write, we would report whatever was going on in the school. It didn't have a very good print, but at least it was typed and, pinned together for students to read. I was also a member of the Christian Union, which was one of the prominent unions in the school, clubs in the school. I was also a member of the debating club. How many of you are members of the debating club? Or do you still, or you don't have that? Huh? You have no debating club. Okay. That was a very important club because it enabled us to travel and go and debate with girls' schools like Luak, like Nia, Nyamira. So it was a great opportunity. Eh? Yeah, I wasn't very good in sports, so I focused more on some of those activities. I did my school certificate examinations in November, December of 1974. One incident happened that I like talking about because I regret it for the rest of my life. My class, I think as I've said, was a very competitive class. If you are number one, unlike And like my friend, the dentist who said somebody beat them throughout. But for us, if you are number one this time, you are likely to be number 2 or 3 the next time. So there were about 5 of us that changed the numbers from 1 to 5. I never obtained a number beyond 3. So but when we start the exams, there was a paper in English called paper 1. I think this is where you write composition, you do what was called précis. Do you still have that? Summary. And I think the structure, you have that, eh? Yeah, it was called précis at that time. So I did this paper very fast. Before I handed over my paper, I thought I'd done the right thing. So I cancelled and did another thing. But whatever I was doing was the wrong thing. It was a speech by a headmaster that you are expected to summarize. But you should have summarized it in the reported sense. But for me, I summarized it in the present tense, which was wrong. I had done the reported sense, then I crossed and did this wrong one. So immediately I left the exam room. I went to my English teacher and asked, what were we supposed to do in this paper? Because I was not sure I did the right thing. So he told me, Wade, how can you ask? This is what you do every day, because I was the chief editor of the journalism club. This is what you do in your paper. And when I saw this, I said, you know, this is set for you. I cried, my friend, because this was my best subject and I'd done the wrong thing. I prayed that the teacher would even check the crossed paper, but I don't think they do that. Examiners, once you cross it, they have crossed it. So instead of getting what I know I would have gotten, distinction 1, I got a credit 3 in English. There's a student who was very strong in science. He got a distinction 1. So he beat me with 2 points. So in the final grading, he had the best grade. He got 15 points. No, he got 14 points, and I got 16 points. That may be Greek to you in terms of the grading now. He's called he's a medical doctor, still alive, Dr. Bayopodo. He practices in Nakuru. Bayo has forever had the bragging rights over me. He says I used to beat him in class. And I gave it to him because he beat me in the most important examination, didn't he? Yeah, so some of these things do happen. You needed to obtain at least a credit in English and a credit in maths for you to get a division 1. And of course a credit in one of the art subjects, in one of the but the essential thing was to get a credit in both English and maths. Swahili was not compulsory at that time. In fact, I remember when we were taught a bit of Kiswahili in Form 1, the K class and the M class and all that. When we went to Form 2, we chased the Kiswahili teacher away because we thought it was a waste of time. We could use that time to learn maths and other subjects. So we were lucky that it wasn't. So if you find people of my generation who do not speak Swahili, you have to understand that they were never taught Swahili in secondary school and in primary school. And in this part of the world where Swahili is completely strange, because Swahili is basically a Bantu language, there are many people who struggle with the language. So I was able to pass my exams as the second best student. I went to Cardinal Otunga High School. At that time, we had what you call the O-levels and the A-levels. A-levels was a 2-year period before you went to the university, where you chose just about 3, maximum of 4 subjects. But that enabled you to focus on what you wanted to study at the university. So you had to get what was called subject combination. If you wanted to do medicine, for instance, you would do biology, chemistry, physics, or maths. If you wanted to do agriculture, again,
You wanted to do, you chose subjects that were inclined towards what you wanted to do at the university. And I studied English, history, and economics. Why did I go to Cardinal? Because there were only 3 schools at that time, very strangely, that offered that combination. It was only the Cardinal, it was Kagumo High, and Shimolatea. So I thought, at Cardinal Otunga High School, the school was run by Catholic brothers. Our headmaster was called Brother Innocent Bikok, and most of the teachers there were the Dutch brothers from Holland. So from there, I passed as the best student, arts and science combined, and proceeded to the University of Nairobi. In my class from Maranda, I'm the only one who studied law. But we produced 3 doctors, we produced about 2 engineers, and we produced several professionals. I talked about Dr. Bayo. There's Dr. Mondi, who practices in some institution, I think, in Atiriva. Dr. Mondi Kijaro died. I think his son is an alumnus, if I'm not wrong. One of the engineers is an alumnus of this school. Otiena Oro is an engineer who migrated to Canada. So my classmates are still there, although they are not active for one reason or another in our group. I think we need to take time to reach out to them. There's also Dr. Okumbe, Dr. Okumbe, who is a PhD, who runs a very successful training program that trains very senior civil servants. Now, at the University of Nairobi, I studied law. When I finished the university, I want to move much faster. When I finished the university, or before I finished, my dream was to be a magistrate. You saw a magistrate, yeah, is he still here? He's still there, yes. I wanted to be a magistrate. But, you see, we finished well, from the university, we went to the School of Law. We finished the School of Law in September, but we would be admitted in later in the year, in December. There was a 3-month gap. I was with a firm of, I was doing my pupillage with a firm of advocates known as Warui and Company Advocates, which was the top African law firm at that time. The 2 students ahead of us who had done pupillage with that firm had been appointed to join the magistracy, but immediately they were admitted, they left and joined the firm. So I could not convince the interviewing panel that I was not going to do the same thing. So because of that, I was not appointed, I was not successful to be a magistrate. But then I joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a legal officer, dealing mainly with international law. I had the privilege to work in many, many countries where I served as a diplomat until I became ambassador to the UN in Geneva for several years. I have in my career, I have developed quite a number of expertise. One of them is international environmental law. Yeah, one of them is international environmental law. We negotiated I was one of the negotiators of what was known as Agenda 21 in preparation for the Rio Conference in 1992. We also negotiated the Biodiversity Convention. This is the convention that deals with the international instrument that deals with how you conserve and preserve genetic resources. We also negotiated the Framework Convention for Climate Change. I've also handled matters of human rights. I've also been an expert on disarmament. In fact, in 2006, the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon appointed me as one of his advisors on the feasibility of an arms trade treaty. And so we proceeded to negotiate a treaty that regulates the trade in arms between countries. So I think the point I'm trying to say is that law is a very versatile subject, very, very versatile. Before I went to the university, but I'd made up my mind I was going to study law. The Attorney General was then known as Charles Njonjo. Some of you may have heard of him. Is he still alive? Then you have heard of him because he died very recently at the age of, I think, 101. Now, Charles Njonjo was a very, very powerful Attorney General. Very powerful. His word was law, even if it was wrong. In 76, when there was a debate in this country on how to change the constitution, whether or not to change the constitution to bar Moi from succeeding Kenyatta, Njonjo said it was a crime it was treason. You know, treason is one of the highest crimes for which you're punished by death. The sentence is death sentence. He said it is treason to imagine the death of the president. You know, Kenyans were not very informed at that time because there was no, what do you call it, no Google. These days you Google everything. So that is what stopped the debate. But you see, he misquoted the law. The penal code said it is treason to imagine, intend, devise, all those words. There are several words there. The death of the president. But in law there are two elements to make a crime. The magistrate will tell you. It's what you call the mens rea, which means the intention. So if, like, you want to steal, you first must have the intention to steal. Then there's what you call the actus reus. Law has a lot of Latinism, which is now the act of stealing. So you intended and you went ahead to take something which is not yours. Then the offense of stealing is complete. It is the same with the offense of treason. You can do all those things. You can intend, you can devise, you can imagine, but then you have to maybe hold a meeting, decide how you are going to overthrow the government, you know. So he misquoted, but he only quoted a section of the law, and that is how the debate ended. So he said, if I come back to why I mentioned Charles Njonjo, he said in 1976 that Kenya was producing too many lawyers. And how many lawyers were being produced at that time? 60, a maximum of 60 per year, because there was only one faculty of law at the University of Nairobi. They took 60 students, but by the time we went to the School of Law, the number could have reduced to 50 because through, you know, attrition one way or another. Some failed, some were discontinued, some were passed on. So that less than 60 students a year, Njonjo thought Kenya was producing too many lawyers. And some people were discouraged. But even at that early age, I thought he was very wrong. Because law, as I have said, is very versatile. Just 2 weeks or so, we had the annual, the LSK annual conference in Kwale, and the number of lawyers in this country has grown exponentially. But that is also how the areas of law have expanded. Because at that time, there was the bench, that is, if you become a magistrate and a judge. There was the bar for those who are in private practice. There were few who joined corporations as company secretaries or legal officers. There were those who joined the AG's chambers as state counsels, prosecutors, including prosecutors. And there were very few opportunities. But now law is in every imaginable area. We have, for instance, environmental law, we have IT law, we have, of course, the traditional areas of family law, constitutional law, we have aviation law. We have law in virtually every imaginable discipline. So I think just as my dentist friend also talked about dentistry, I think this is one area you can explore. And once you join the profession, or any other profession for that matter, it is important to, I think the rains are coming, so I'll finish very fast. It is important, let me just conclude, to bear a few things in mind. One, you have to be focused. You have to have focus, determination, and discipline in any area you are following, irrespective of your background. Two, do whatever you do with distinction and make yourself the most important person in the organization you are in. Let your work speak for yourself so that nobody has to speak for you. Three, honesty and integrity must remain your hallmarks. Integrity has been defined as what you do when nobody is watching. It's not just being law-abiding, but being guided by personal morality and ethics. Four, be patient, be tolerant. Don't climb the tree from the top. Go through every stage of life as it comes. The problem with the current generation, I must say, is that they want to run before they are able to walk. Walk fast and then run. Patience pays. Be patient wherever you are. Five, be proud of your, and I think that's what's been said, of your school, the networks that you make from here, have good memories, and this will come in very, very, very handy. I think I will conclude at that stage. As I said, I had a very long speech, but I decided not to read it and just to go through a bit of my life. This is what I was calling a pep talk. I hope you have learned something from what I've said. Have you? Have you all learned something? Or there are some who have not learned anything? Okay, if you have learned something, very good. Thank you very much. Be blessed.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Kowade, for your very illuminating.
May I make a correction? Yes. So that, you know, names are very important. Sorry, I'm not embarrassing you. Just for their sake. Just for their sake. Yeah, my name is Owade. I don't embellish it with a K. You know, that's an embellishment. Okay. But I had a friend called J.R. Kowade. In fact, it is interesting because when I was in Maranda, let me just say this, when I was in this school, I was known as J.R. Owade. I gave myself the name J.R. because we have several Owades in the family, and I thought I was the junior most. So I was Owade. Actually, I was Owade J.R. So a lot of my classmates called me J.R., but later on I abandoned it because the junior title is very much misused even today. I'm sure there are a number of you called junior. Yeah, but it is very much misused. So I am Owade, I'm not Kowade, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Owade. we are getting towards the tail end of this program. I want to call upon our able teacher to lead us in the section of the awards. Okay?
Okay. Hello. I know you are tired and you want to move very fast. So I'm going to start with the Form 1. And the Form 1, we have done the average of, that is the current Form 2. The average when they were in Form 1. So we have subject champion, who are going to get 2,000 each. And then we have position 3 that will have 2,000. Position 2, 3,000, and position 1 averagely will get 5,000 with a certificate. A very beautiful certificate. Very fast, we want to move on. I'm being told that we want to have some short video, just very fast, as we wait for the chairman.
I left the school in 1991 and joined the University of Nairobi to study law. Growing up mainly in the village in Siaya, a place called Mbira, you interact a lot with the environment, and you come to the university and you find that there is this branch of law that basically deals with natural resources and the things around you. And so I took particular interest in that, and admiring some of the luminaries and pioneers in the field of environmental law around that time, some who are still my mentors to date. Within a year, I was elected the University of Nairobi Law Journal Editor-in-Chief. That also put me right in the limelight of scholarship in environmental law. As Editor-in-Chief, we published a special issue on environmental law, and that paved my path into that field of law. And then went again for further studies to study masters at the University of Nairobi. And in the midst of all that, also practicing law at my law firm of Cheng Advocates. This is interesting. My law firm partner is actually an alumni nurse of Maranda High School too.
My first choice for the university actually was pharmacy. Actually applied to be, that was my first choice, and then law was the second one. So because I did not do well in one of the sciences, I failed to get pharmacy, and I was called to do law at the University of Nairobi. The profession actually is very demanding. You must be committed. It requires a lot of reading, understanding, also commitment in terms of work deadlines and so on and so forth, particularly if you are running your own law firm.
Currently, I'm specializing in climate finance law, and at least I've tried to make a mark in that field. Perhaps you've seen a few occasions when the media has sought my expert opinion on a number of things happening around. We produce a report that helped to restructure the whole agenda of managing wildlife in Kenya. I enjoy these kind of challenges, and I enjoy just making the link between what I studied at school and what is really affecting livelihoods on a practical basis. The friendships made probably in primary, but mostly in high school, count the most when you get out here. In our year, we had 4 people who were called to study law at the University of Nairobi. And even to date, we still maintain those contacts. We have our own chama, if you like, where we can always call upon one another when you are in need, whether financial or whether you just want to consult on issues of law.
In Maranda, actually, when I joined in Form 1, I think I was taken to Gore, where they used to have the abolition. I mean, the Bonyo block. Yeah, so I was located at Gore. I stayed there until I think in Form 3 when I became a librarian, and then I went then to the Osewe cubicle. Remember, prefects then used to be staying in the cubicle. I mean, the cubicles next to the dorm.
We are trying to raise resources and to strengthen the Alumni Association.
So life there was basically interesting and challenging because then as we never used to have water in school, so at around 3 p.m. we used to be allowed to go down at the pond there to go and wash our clothes and then come back with some little water for use locally and so on and so forth. So it was challenging but interesting in a way because it then brought in you the requirement for working hard, and being responsible as a young person.
Why is it that people are pursuing knowledge and people want money, but people can't do things with integrity? People are so quick to try to cheat, even as they pursue success in life. And the whole theme of Maranda motto, the whole theme of what we are trying to do is to go back to the basics. Let people understand that it is possible to do it, and the right way to do it is with integrity.
That service of clients also requires that you are somebody who is honest and trustworthy, because as a lawyer then you get to know a lot of very privileged information about your client. Sometimes you're even entrusted to hold funds for your client. And so therein lies the requirement that you must then be a person who is very trustworthy and committed and dedicated to your profession.
It's interesting also that we are talking about this awards giving day. I remember I had the privilege when we were finishing Form 4 to win 4 awards, which out of 6 that were available that time. If my recollection is right, I think I was awarded for the best academician, they call it. I was awarded for the most disciplined student. I was awarded for best school captain.
Just work hard, focus on your academics, make sure that you pass your exams as much as you can. The rest actually will just fall in their place. Maranda has now become a big brand name in the country, and I congratulate students who have been there and those who are still there for making it a brand name. Please continue.
Okay, let's continue. The award for the 2021 class is going to be given by Mrs. Oluoch, the Vice Chair, BOM. So I'm going to be mentioning the name very fast because of rain. You come very fast. The subject champion, Business Studies, Miguel Jr. Very fast. Music, Aboge, Joseph Hansel. German, Osago Benjamin Otieno. French, there are 2, Odiambo Gregory Okoth and Peter Emmanuel Gumbau. Computer Studies, Steve Austin Odero. Aviation, Munyoki Noah Kialo, Agriculture, Okello P. Peter Onyango. That is agriculture. Then, agriculture is Okello P. CRE, Theosabel Anade Kinobe. Geography, Katumanga Griffins. History and Government, Samuel Etuku. Chemistry, Owor Lennox Ochieng. Physics, Rioba Chacha. Biology, Okoth Joshua Otieno. Mathematics, again Okoth Joshua Otieno. Kiswahili, Anade Teosabel Kinobe. English, Rioba Chacha. Then we have the top 3 students 2021 in Form 1. The top 3 can come over. Position 3, Samuel Mutua Moses.
Give him a hand clap, please.
Position 2, Steve Austin Odero. Then the best student 2021 class when they were in Form 1 was Bent Marshall Rioba Chacha. We are going to request the Form 3, currently those who are in Form 2 2021, to be awarded by Dr. Zilpa. Okay, we are starting.
So where do we face?
Yes, please. Yes.
Fine, okay. I'm fine.
Okay, we start with business studies. Subject champion, Odoyo Dennis Ochieng. Come over very fast. Odoyo. Then we have German, Ogweno Maxam Okope. French, Oduor Marvin Oganga. Computer, Akinyi Byron Ochieng. Aviation, Kihiu Alan Njogu. Agriculture, Rapoda Ominde Daniel. CRE, Omondi Berak Rock. Geography, Nyamweya Obed Kinara. History and Government, there are 2. Kelvin Vuri, Njale Robin Monyange. Chemistry, Wako Gufu Hussein. Physics, Kamau Samuel Mwangi. Just confirm that the envelope that you are given bears your name before you go with it. So physics is Kamau Samuel Mwangi. Biology, Ochieng Brighton Omondi. Mathematics, Onguka David Jr. Kiswahili,
Just climb and say your name.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. Fine. All right.
Just climb and say your name.
Yeah. We are good to go.
Yeah.
Byron Chi. Face the camera. Well done. Daniel.
Kiswahili is Akinyi Byron Ochieng. Then English also Akinyi Byron Ochieng. He's speaking too. The top 3 students to be ready. The best students in Form 2, 2021. Position 3, Nyamweya Obed Kinara. That's an average for the whole year. Then Onguka David Jr. Position 2. Position 1, Mwamba Odhiambo Shelton. Move nearer.
Byron is having 2 of them. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, fine. All right. Julian. Byron. Oh, congratulations. Byron is having 2. Good man.
Top 3 students. I've said Gregory Ouko. No. I mean Nyamweya Obed Kinara, Onguka David Jr. and Mwamba Odhiambo Shelton.
Come here. Well done. Hold it. This is your money. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you, Daktari. Let me welcome Mahisa Chairman, Wakili Benson, to give the awards for 2021 Form 3.
We are privileged to have the patron of Maranda High School Alumni Association, Honorable Senior Counsel Wakili Otiende Amolo. He is going to give the awards for the candidate class. Best performers in the candidate class as of last year. We hope you maintain these standards for this year and make us proud. Now that ni Mheshimiwa Senior Counsel, my senior in the profession, is the one who will give you the awards. Karibuni sana.
Thank you, Wakili. Okay, let me start with the subject champion for the Form 3, the current Form 4s. Business Studies, Odhiambo David. French, you move very fast. Otieno, Brian Odhiambo. Computer Studies, Otieno Brian Ouma. Agriculture, Onguka Stephen Odiwor. Move very fast. Okay. Come. Siari Okongo Anthony Owino. Geography, Tony Ooko Orieko. History, Esere Caleb. Chemistry, Ntabo Ezra. Choroke. Physics, Gilton Brand Chwea. Come very fast so that
Let them come in the order in which they...
just come in the order in which I've called you. We are supposed to move from business, French, computer, agriculture, CRE, geography, history, Esere Caleb, chemistry, Ntabo Ezra, physics, Gilton Brian Chwea, biology, Gilton Brown Chwea, mathematics, Onguka Steven, Kiswahili, Otieno Brian H. Odhiambo, English, Gregory Ouko Onyango. The top 3 students to move very fast. Form 3, 2021, Gregory Ouko Onyango, Otieno Brian H. Odhiambo, and Gilton Brian Chwea. Position 1 is Gilton Brian Chwea. There is Brian Otieno Ouma for computer. And Otieno Brian Odhiambo French. Let me call upon Mrs. Janet Ochieng to give the award for leadership. Janet Ochieng, Mrs., to help us give the awards for leadership. We decided to award the following for the good work they have been doing to us. Onyango Odhiambo Jimmy Wire, the dining hall captain. Then Onyango Ruben Matthew Ombura, academic captain. Then Joseph Okumu Odoyo, the school captain. The awards for the certificates. For certificates. The certificates. For them. Yeah, Onyango Ruben. Yeah, Onyango Jimmy where are you? You didn't pick the certificate. The other ones picked, eh? You're supposed to pick the certificate and the cash award.
Dining hall.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, let me call upon our BOM chair to award the 2021 KCSE of those who had grade A plane. Can all former students, 2021, to come over?
Your patron was also the best student here in 1989, Honorable Tinda Molo. So if you don't know, he was the top student in the first 844 class. You didn't know that I know him that much, but he was the top student in Maranda High School in 1989. That was the first 844. I think we have been parents with him in Riara. One day I'm the chief guest for education, then the next day follows. So we have to recognize his presence here, okay? So here is just the best of the. Thank you.
Thank you. Just stay. All the former students, can you come just over? All of you, so that we save time.
Oh, this one, sir.
The sats.
Come quickly. Is there anybody who's going to study medicine there? Medicine, hands up. Anybody? Medicine, hands up. How many? Very good. Engineer, hands up. How many are going to study medicine seriously? Hands up. Oh, very good. We are doing very well here. Law? Law? How many are going to do law? Senior council. Engineering? Okay. It was not my time, but I was just sampling. Good job.
Thank you. Let's start with George Amonde Owino. Then Omondi Victor Onyango. Very fast. Oluwach Victor Odhiambo. Followed by Kialo Brand Matata. Then Otieno Alan Ochie. Swane Rama. Bishop Joseph Otieno. Ogden Castro. Manan Samuel Momanyi. Magor Tuch. Clifford Oleche. Clifford. Nonix Hans Ochogo, very fast. Abere Kidake. Getange Okuoyo Boniface. Kaibumba Paul Kirimi. Nani? Okay. Eh? What? Kibumba. Charo. Mrabu Jamine. Ouma Alvin Otieno. Mutisia Peter. Agodson. Olano. Odira Lawrence.
Daniel Duol. Wankuru Vincent. Wanjiku Wankuru Vincent. Kevin Osoro Moses. Mwangi Richard Etienne. Tioko Nicholas. Brian Waitaka Moya. Brian Rwanda. Brian Larry Gross. Okot. Freddie Phillips. Gideon Anthony Kinoi.